friends and bees and friends who are also bees, and welcome to this week's Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 2, Watanagashi. I am going to do a thing because my computer is being very noisy and it's annoying me. Anyway, welcome to this week's Indie Thursday stream. As previously mentioned, we are going to be playing Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 2, Watanagashi, and we're going to be picking up from where we left off last time. So last time, we had a cooking contest, and in the end we won, which was unexpected, given everything that went on. And we're now headed homewards, and I'm checking to see if the candle I'm burning has burnt all the way across, or if it's going to keep tunneling, which always seems to happen to me with candles, much to my annoyance. Anyway, apologies for the nonsense. I appear not at the moment to have music, which is alarming, but hopefully I get some soon. But let's just hop in, shall we? Load here. There we go. In the end, all of the onigiri was eaten by the principal, so I had to make do without lunch. Skipping lunch, I never knew the afternoon could be so long and painful. Feeling other than drowsiness made me space out. Are you alright, Keiichi-kun? That's why I said you shouldn't eat Reina's curry. I've forgotten instantly the voices I was doing for them. Think. As if I could eat this curry with enough salt in it to make my blood pressure rise just by looking at it, is what I said as I initially refused. Could only regret it. Hunger, the stomachache. Well, well. You did a good job making it through. You're absolutely hopeless situation, that is. Keiichi, you're pretty strong when you're cornered, eh? I don't need any compliments right now. I need food. There's something for you to eat at home, right? We don't keep snacks lying around at home, and I'm out of cup noodles right now. Since you're enjoying that hunger so much right now, I'm sure tonight's dinner will be really tasty. Absolutely no intention of laughing along. Well then, I'll take my leave. I have my part-time job again today. It's really rough when you're not used to the work. That job at the Angel Moore family restaurant, huh? That uniform was somewhat stimulating. Being a waitress really is hard work. Eh? Mion's working as a waitress? Really? Really? What kind of place is it? No, right, working at that toy store from the other day. Shion is the waitress. My bad. Completely forgot that was how it ended up being. I'm sorry, you guys look so similar I mixed you up. Keiichi, who's Shion? Reina asked the obvious question. Mion's younger twin sister. She's got a different personality, but she's a dead ringer for Mion. That's right. We look similar, but our personalities are completely different. I'm very kind and thoughtful, but Shion has a cold and scary personality. I think that when you guys were born, Shion got all the feminine aspects. Unlike Mion, she's a cute, cheerful girl. Keiichi! Reina interjected as her eyes darted back and forth from our exchange. Is that true? Reina's never met her. Mion, did you ever tell me you had a younger sister? Shion's existence was already being exposed as a cover-up. I couldn't help Mion out here. Could only have her in this charade. Oh, yeah, I still haven't introduced her to you, Reina. My younger sister named Shion. I dunno, I didn't ask. I never met her when I went to Mion's house. Yeah, that. You know, I'm the only one that lives with Granny. Shion lives at the family home in Watanagashi. We're not that close, so, yeah, she doesn't come here too often. Reina's face indicated she wasn't sure if she was convinced. She was usually a bit of an airhead, but she was unusually sharp when it came to these kinds of things. Well, it's not a lie. Please believe me. As she said, yeah, I believe you. A smile suddenly blossomed on Reina's face. Reina wants to meet her. I'll go and see her sometime. What store is she working at? What store? That is... she's getting more tangled in her little web. Could tell that Mia was getting increasingly frantic. Wanted to help her out, but it was hard for an outsider to butt in on family issues. Sorry, I have to get to work. Later. Reina, Keiichi, see you tomorrow. Unilaterally ending the conversation, Mion headed home. No matter how you looked at it, she was running away. We'll just label this one as an emergency escape. Mion was kinda cute. I wonder why. Reina giggled in amusement. prefer the old CGs. I just think they look nicer, you know? I wonder when dinner is. Would lying down be the best way to conserve energy? I'm gonna fuck about with the does it I guess there's no way to change the CGs. You've just got these ones. I just prefer the older ones. I think they look nicer. I spilled in the entry without even taking off my shoes. As a result of the end of the last game, I just have this intense nervousness when the doorbell goes. As I was losing the last vestiges of my consciousness, the doorbell rang. Seemed I had a guest. Come on in, it's open. Directed my listless voice at the door. Good afternoon, huh? Keiichi, what are you doing? Seeing my guest was Mion, or rather Shion. She seemed shocked when she saw me sprawled out in the entryway. Is that Shion? Wait, why? Thought that Shion's existence was an illusion that was limited to when Mion was at the restaurant. That's why I never even considered that Shion would appear here. I heard from my sister. Because of club activity today, you weren't able to eat lunch, right? Yeah, it was a lot of trouble. Stoko spilled my pot and you stole my rice. But I'm Shion. She grew red and began to mope. That's right, she was younger twin right now. Sorry. What's up? Did you bring something for me to eat? Oh my, it's somehow disappointing you hit the nail right on the head, but here. With a disappointed smile, Shion held out the small bento box she'd hidden behind her back. Huh? You really brought something to eat? Thanks. There was still some of the ground beef left over from what my sister brought to school. I knew it was going to be right before dinner, but I wondered if you'd want it. Am I bothering you? Not even a bit. I'm really happy. Can I really eat this? Sneaking a look inside the box. To say that she just put some of the leftovers inside would have been a lie. There was an elegant meal stuffed inside. Is it really okay? It's not like a ton of hot sauce mixed in or anything, right? Cheese. I'm not my sister. I wouldn't do that kind of thing. If you don't like it, you don't have to force yourself. I'll just go home and eat it myself. Saying that, she pouted cutely and made a motion as if to snatch the box back. There were some times that made me doubt she was the same person as Mion, and that was undoubtedly one of those moments. I don't mind at all. I want to chow down on it with thanks from the bottom of my heart. It's not something to be so thankful about that your nose has to run. Shion, who had thought that I might not take the bento, looked down happily. There's not much, but do you want to come in? I can probably make some tea or something. Sorry, maybe some other time. I'm on my way to work. Oh, that's right. She did say that before. Just rinse the box out with water and give it back to my sister tomorrow, please. Of course. It would only be the proper thing to do after being allowed to eat something that looks this delicious. Well then, I'll take my leave. One last thing. Shion grew red again as she looked down once more. During that contest with the curry, my sister took your rice without permission, right? My sister falls around so much, so sometimes she gets carried away. She wasn't doing it just to be mean. Hey, it's not like I mind that too much. There are no grudges when it comes to club activities after all. In fact, I should be the one that's thankful for all the frills and entertainment. Could you tell that to Mion for me? Yes. I think my sister will be very happy to hear that. Well then, I have to go. Shion smiled brightly. After bowing deeply, she left as she looked at her watch. I'm happy, but is this really okay? I looked at the bento box she left behind. A faint warmth spread through the palm of my hand. If it were Mion, I could see hot sauce, mustard, maybe even a needle mixed inside. But really, I don't think she would go so far as putting a needle in there. Waggles eyebrows. I opened the box once again and hesitantly tasted a bit. I took a bite, and another. There was no funny business. There was no danger at all, for it was delicious. That's right, that was Shion, not Mion, so there shouldn't have been anything to worry about. A needle, huh? I rushed back to my room, eating as I gave my thanks. So delicious that my stomach could hiccup. Mion, when she heard I was so hungry I could die, she brought this over to me. It was delicious to the last bite. By the way, nothing strange had been mixed in. I was a bit embarrassed at myself for being so skeptical. Dog. You should really not ever be skeptical. Wishy. Nice. New tips. So, the achievement I just got for that was called Food for Thought, which is get an unexpected delivery. And the next one is called Mom Mentality. Get rescued and then not easy being green, figure out the twins. I'm intrigued. Hey, Mion, here. Oh, what is it, Keiichi? I thrust the bento box she gave me yesterday at her face. It had the food you gave me in it. Thanks, it was great. Mion's face quickly flushed bright red. Hey now, you were the one pretending to be Shion when you gave it to me. You're gonna give it away if you get all red like that when you're being Mion. This way, she might trip and fall right into her own grave, so I decided to help her out. Listen, I was pretty hungry yesterday. Out of the blue, Shion came all the way to my house and gave me some food in a bento box. This is that box. Make sure you wash it out. Right. Shion's really considerate, huh? That was so transparent. Was Mion all in this terrible at lying? Her expression was different than usual, but it looked strangely cute. So what did you think? You two were like peas in a pod. You're twins, right? Obviously you'd look the same. Not that, Mion looked kind of bewildered, like she was waiting for a specific answer. When she said impression, maybe she didn't mean Shion, but the bento? Oh, of course. It was delicious. Really? I never lie about liking food. If I say something's good, then it's objectively good. You can feel free to give my recommendations to every single person you meet. Tell Shion it was seriously great, alright? Okay. Tell Shion, right? I will. I think she'll be happy. We're going wrong with Shion having given it to me, not Mion, are we? Yet her laugh came from deep down and it sounded really happy. Guess you really can laugh nasty enough that just looking at it makes me feel better too. A sarcastic remark made its way onto my tongue. But I swallowed it back and had a coughing fit that I muted myself for instead. As Mion went to put the bento in her box, she noticed a clattering noise. Keiichi, there's something inside. Huh? Wow. She opened it? The thing inside was a little embarrassing, so she wished I hadn't opened it here. Panicking, I hid it with my hands. My mother told me to put them in as thanks. I didn't come up with it or anything. Didn't get the wrong idea. So pretty. Candy. It was a handful of candies, neatly wrapped in paper, inside the sparkly clean bento box. When I was cleaning the box out yesterday in the sink, Mum came over and interrogated me, and I fessed up as to who'd given me the food. Then she told me that something like this called for a display of gratitude. I didn't want to because it was embarrassing, so I argued it wouldn't be like me to do that. Well, that's what happened. So embarrassed I felt like fire might shoot out of my face. Me on laughing the whole thing off like she usually did would be fine, but for some reason she was staring at the candy in the box with fascination. Thank you. Don't thank me. Thank my mum. She put them in there. Besides, you're not the one I need to be thanking, right, Mion? Those are for Shion, okay? Right. You're right. Okay. I'll be sure to tell Shion. I just know she'll be happy. Mion, looking a little downtrodden, put the lid back on the box. Seemed like I ended up saying something a little mean at the end. Keiichi scrub. Mion, you look kind of cozy today. Did something happen? Did it? Perhaps she's caught a fever? The red in her face is probably due to the increased body temperature. Hey, Rika, why are you petting my head? Stoker, I'm sure you'll be able to catch fevers soon enough. Pet, pet. I like that. Catch fevers. Let's keep going. Might have explained this before, but phys ed at school is really just an exercising disorder. After some random warm-ups, the rest of my time is spent doing whatever. You're free to cause a ruckus or just fall asleep. I'm not really sure, but doesn't the Board of Education have some sort of curriculum for this? Something like, when you're this old, you should have this amount of physical ability? I have no idea what you're saying, Keiichi. It's rather difficult to understand. Well, you see, it's something like a rule for teachers to follow during class. Maybe you weakling city folk need something like that, but do you really think us country-raised kids would lag behind in physical ability? We're better athletes than you would think, Keiichi. Come to think of it, they might be right. If we all lined up for a race, there was a good chance I'd finish dead last if I didn't start off well. Let's just pray that when a brutal plenty game is at stake, the 100-meter dash isn't a club activity. On that note, I watched too much TV, so I'm fantastically tired. I'm using this time to catch up on my sleep. It's 4th period and I'm completely starved. If I don't sleep now, when will I ever? As I began to sprawl out on top of a pipe, Mion grabbed me by the collar. Just us. You really think I'd let you sleep in peace and quiet? With that look on your face, it required more courage to try and take a nap than not. Good grief. Which means, is it going to start again? Now. Just killing time with idle chit-chat until the bell rings is impossible for us hot-blooded youth, isn't it? Should we start a club activity? Just as I thought. Let's come to this. What's today's game? Now this is happening, taking a nap is impossible. Not just that, with a sleep-deprived bed of mine, I'm as good as mincemeat. I have to get my brain into gear. Raina thinks that we should decide what today's Penta game should be before we start. Raina knows what's up. Prepare something super special today. She began to announce the cruel penalty game with a grand spinning flourish. Before she could do that... I'm sorry, I have something that I wanted to do. Of all people, it was Rika announcing her non-participation. Even rare events do eventually occur. Losing the timing, Mion spun like a top as she tumbled to the ground. Huh? What's the matter? You're not feeling well? Oh, that's right. Mion, she has to practice for the Watanagashi. That's right. It's this Sunday. Rika's in the middle of super serious training right now. I've been working too hard lately, so my arms hurt. I see. Well, there's nothing that can be done. There's no point in doing anything if we can't get everybody together. Today, let's just take it easy. I'm very sorry, but I'll try my best. Yeah, good luck. We'll be cheering you on. When Mion announced that today's club activity was cancelled, Rika and Satoko headed off behind the school building. Only I was left alone, completely clueless as to what everyone was talking about. What was that about? Is Rika training for a competition or something? Rika's a shrine maiden for the Watanagashi, so she has to perform a ritual dance. To practice for that. Why don't you explain things in order? First of all, what is this Watanagashi? Next, what do you mean by shrine maiden? Last, what do you mean by ritual dance? Huh? Didn't you get the notice at your house, Keiichi? Wasn't it written there? The Watanagashi festival is this Sunday. What? Come to think of it, I have a feeling Mom did say something about it during dinner the other day. The Watanagashi is a festival that happens at the shrine on a Sunday every June. It's very lively. I see, but Watanagashi sounds like a pretty strange name for it. Is it something like the Lantern Festival, where they have a memorial for the dead by floating things down the river? Oh, I figured you might guess right, Keiichi. Watanagashi, or Cotton Drift Festival as the name implies, where we set cotton adrift down the river. The cotton you see is from futons or jackets. Be something like a futon memorial. They also pile futons up on the altar. Heard of people leaving offerings of things like needles or kitchen knives to their ancestors or to casualties of war, but an offering of futons is a first for me. What's the history behind that? Mion tilts her head pensively. I don't think there's a complicated backstory to it. Winters around here are pretty harsh, so things like warm futons and coats to ward off the cold are fairly important, I guess. Ah, I see. In other words, it's something like giving them thanks to the futons that took care of you during the winter then. Then the Shrine Maiden holds a memorial service for them and sets them adrift. That's what the Watanagashi is? Mion and Wena indicated I had the correct answer with a round of applause. And you see, the Shrine Maiden performing the memorial is Rika. Oh, so Rika's a Shrine Maiden. Now that you mention it, Rika does have a mystical air about her. Right. Rika's a Shrine Maiden in a Shrine Maiden outfit. So cute. Something does seem like it would suit her. Yeah, it might be cute. Finally get what you're saying. Rika's training is for a performance as a Shrine Maiden, and that would be it. The Shrine Maiden has to purify a number of futons as part of the ceremony. It's practice for that. I appreciate that the way these games are written is so that it's like, here's the information, and it's like making sure that you've definitely got it in your head that Rika has to practice because she's a Shrine Maiden, and she's going to purify a bunch of futons and do a ritual dance for this cotton drifting festival where they say thanks to futons and stuff like that. And I appreciate that they're trying to make it super clear so you can like have it laid out in your head, but at the same time, all it makes you think is, man, Keiichi's fucking dumb. He really is. It's like, you know, Rika's a Shrine Maiden and has to perform at this festival, and he goes, what's a Shrine Maiden? It's like, she's a Shrine Maiden. And she's like, oh, I see. It's a lot of hard work. Shrine Maiden has to carry a large ceremonial hoe as part of the rite, and it's really heavy for Rika. Well, Rika is pretty small. Exactly how heavy is that hoe? 54.4. It's pretty heavy. Enough that Rika's been practicing with her mochi mallet. Wait a minute. That's way too heavy. Thinking about Rika, that'd be rough even for me. It's a sacred ceremonial hoe. If she dropped it by accident, it'd be big trouble. Well, it's a once-a-year kind of deal. All we can do is cheer from the sidelines. It'll be okay. She pulled it off last year. Really? Then the least I can do is cheer her on. Even something that little would help, right? I was rather curious about exactly how she practiced. Mion laughed as she shook her head. Leave her alone. If you go, Rika will get a cue and won't be able to practice. I didn't quite understand what Mion was saying. See, Rika doesn't like showing people how hard she works. Okay? So just leave her be. Even the always cool and aloof Rika has times when she sweats while giving it her all. Because she was always so well put together, she didn't want people to see an ugly, gamey side of her. It's not like I couldn't understand that feeling. All I can do is pray for her success, huh? Do your best. Rika Furude. I'm cheering for you. Well then, climbed up into the pipe and plopped down onto my side. Me too, buddy. Hooray, hooray, Rika-chan. In order to transmit more of my psychic waves of encouragement, I'll be entering a meditative state now. So you're just gonna sleep after all? Me though. Honestly, the platonic ideal of existence is sleeping. Lackadaisical noontime ended up giving way to mind-numbing afternoon classes. Rebounding from yesterday's hunger, I ate too much for lunch today, leaving me in a horrible condition. I might have gorged myself too much. I'll have to endure afternoon classes. Keiichi, you had an amazing appetite today. Basically, you always eat like a pig, but today was on a whole different level. Yesterday I skipped lunch, right? That hunger just soaked right in. This time, no matter how much I ate, my hunger knew no bounds. I get you. But really, Keiichi, you always finish your lunch down to the last bite. Heck, even down to the last grain of rice. With food, you show your appreciation for the person who made it by eating it, you know? If you leave any behind, it's rude to the person who put in all that effort. Hearing that, Neon's eyes momentarily widened in surprise, followed by a cool laugh. Also, if you don't eat all your dinner, then it's a waste of food. And I hate wasting food, so even when I'm full, I will eat all of my dinner to avoid wasting. That's who I am. Keiichi, really? At first glance, you seem unruly and irresponsible, but you're actually pretty conscientious. Well-disciplined or something like that. Ah, yeah, Reina thinks so too. Keiichi's a lot kinder than he looks. Both of them were probably trying to compliment me, but I had a strange feeling I wasn't being complimented at all. That's not true. Just wanted to say there's a big gap between your appearance and your personality. And I'm saying that's not a compliment. Hey, Sonozaki, Maebara, we're in the middle of class. How far did you get, Sonozaki? Bring your notes up here. Startled, Mion vocalized a rather easy to understand utterance. She was still enthralled in the conversation. She stopped working completely. Doing alright. You haven't progressed at all. You're in the highest grades, you have to shape up. That Mion looks like she's getting lectured. Poor bastard. Appearances can be deceiving, in other words. Actually, appearance might be the opposite of reality. You say some interesting things. Responding to Reina's seemingly profound statement, I started to turn my gaze to where Stoko was happily studying together with Rika. You're saying that Brat Stoko was actually really meek? When Rita was literally said, and that would be the case. I can hardly imagine Stoko being meek and gentle like a girl in some fairy tale. I've got mega hiccups and I do apologise. Stoko's been rude lately, but just a while ago she was pretty different. She acted really spoiled and always. Yep. Keep this a secret from Stoko, okay? That's Toko, acting so cute. Stoko to play coy, I think it would have to be part of some calculated plot. Even if she was to hide behind someone, I wouldn't think it was because she was attached to them. But since it came up, I tried to imagine a gentle and coquettish Stoko. Hey, Stoko. What is it? Stoko smiled cutely and walked towards me. By the way, for every 3 steps, Stoko took. For some reason I took 3 steps away. Why are you running away? Sorry, Stoko. For you to approach me with an affectionate smile on your face, I just have to think it's some sort of trap. That's so mean. You meanie. Sorry, I didn't intend to be so mean. The weeping Stoko came closer to me. I'm a sucker for tears. Crank. Huh? A trap? My leg was being clamped down on by jagged metal teeth. Oh ho, you fell for it. Now for the next part. Stoko raised her right arm triumphantly, and traps began to trigger one after another. Suddenly, the wall sprang forward, throwing me 3 blocks away. There I saw a giant metal ball covered in spikes hurtling towards me. In the direction the ball would knock me was a giant guillotine. I'm not really sure, but Keiichi, you're not thinking of anything completely ludicrous right now, are you? Not really. Not at all. That's a lie. You've got the kind of look on your face that says, I'm going to be crushed by a giant spiked metal ball. How could my expression convey what I was thinking like that? Sorry, imagining a meek and gentle Stoko is impossible right now. I'll try again when I'm in better shape. Next, I looked over at Rika, who was working diligently on some kanji drills. Contrasted to Stoko, her default state was meek and gentle. Rika came at me saying, Oni Adhoka, tightly. Tightly? I could get used to that. Keiichi, you're drooling. Sorry. Then how about Rika? You saying that her appearance is deceiving as well? Saying that out loud, I felt a tinge of doubt. Is Rika really all sweet? Despite her appearance, she was really quite sly. Sweetly, how do you put it, evading things deftly? Good at manipulating boys. Or people, but especially. I get the feeling that Rika isn't only just sweet. Her appearance is definitely deceiving. Couldn't put exactly what was matching into words, but Reina managed to say how I wanted to. She turned to me with an impish look in her eyes, like she was saying, you shouldn't say something like that. When Rika grows up, I'm sure she'll become an incredibly devilish beauty, with men wrapped all around her little finger. Don't you think that would be cool? Reina said that light-heartedly, but I as a man couldn't laugh at that. The scary part about that was it felt like it could be true. Noticing my gaze, Rika turned towards me and let loose with an angelic smile. Both Reina and I, feeling as if that was directed towards us personally, had our hearts skip a beat. Oh, so cute. Reina, your nose is bleeding. Appearances can be deceiving, huh? They sure can. Then what about our dear leader, Neon? Stared at her as she tried to weasel her way out of a scolding by the teacher. By Reina's theory, that unrefined, calculating, conniving Neon also had a side of her that belied appearances. Then what you're saying is that Neon, despite her appearance, is actually a good person? Mion is a good person. Well, that is true, but what I'm trying to say is... Yep, I know what you're trying to say, Keiichi. Catching on that I was struggling to express my feelings as words, Reina smiled even more brightly. No what? Mion is mysterious, right? She's a girl, but it's like she's a guy? That's right. Mion was more than aware that she was a girl, but it was exactly as Reina said. When Mion livened up the mood, it wasn't as though she felt like a guy or a girl specifically, but a friend of the same gender. If she were a guy, we'd probably be like 2 peas in a pod, although that's the same way it is right now. But you see, even that Mion is actually really feminine. Reina, how much did Mion pay you exactly? That's not true. Jeez, I'm trying to have a serious conversation, you know? Reina began to pout. Now probably wasn't the right time to joke around. Mion is a club president, so she's trying hard to lead everybody, but she's really a very cute girl. I really don't want you to forget that, Keiichi. Reina's gaze focused off into the distance, beyond where Mion was. The Mion that I met at Angel Mall was unimaginably different compared to the Mion that I normally knew. And if you think about it, wink and also wonk, the Shion who's like, I'm the refined girly one, even though I'm the younger sister, and I will bring you the bento that I made myself because my sister said that you didn't eat, and I am the one who dresses up cute and works in a maid cafe, and that's me. That's not Shion. I'm relatively certain I either cosplayed or planned to cosplay Shion at a convention when I was much younger, but it would have been purely from the manga. Flustered and hesitant from the unfamiliar job, it was a far cry from the brash and confident Mion. Even though she had to hurry to work, she went through all the trouble to bring me food when I was on the brink of starvation, and she did so not as Mion, but as Shion. What exactly was Shion to Mion? What kind of person was Mion exactly? Somebody who can act, teases you and makes fun of you and kind of makes your life difficult, but really deep down does care about you a lot. Keiichi probably couldn't even begin to imagine. So to say it was a little secret, Reina held her finger up to her lips as she giggled. Mion, finally freeing the teacher's preaching, returned to her seat, cradling her head to hide her embarrassment. This old man, you see, thinks that grade school is enough for everything you need to study in life. Saying that, she plopped down into her seat violently. Mion was actually really feminine, right? Wonder if I can meet Shion again. I wanted to talk to her again. Clang clang. Principal waved around the bell that served as the school chime. Teacher rushed to the blackboard and began to list everybody's homework assignments. Whoa, looks like there's going to be a lot of homework today. Gotta buckle down. Well then, it means even Reina? Huh? What do you mean? Appearances can be deceiving. Would that apply to you too? Huh? Keiichi, how do you see me? How? Reina, that Uyghur that I knew, sometimes took things too far, but was generally a kind and gentle, ideal girl. Really? That makes me happy, I guess. She's the opposite of what you seem. That would make her... And if you were really the opposite? Just try saying it. I won't be mad. That's what I felt she meant. Reina is... Reina is... even if you're the opposite, you'd still be Reina, right? The question shouldn't have been so nerve-wracking to answer. Maybe it's because the person in question was staring at me, but even saying that took a strange amount of effort. That's not fair, Keiichi. It bothers me when you say it that way. Perhaps unable to endure my silence, Reina's face began to burn red with embarrassment. Reina! Keiichi! Let's go home! Mion walked over and started getting ready to go home. Whenever school is over, she really does get noticeably more energetic. If Reina was the opposite, she'd be somebody who can be very focused on calculating and things other than on cute stuff. And deliberately makes plans and is also like fully aware of the effect she has on people and the way that she impacts them. It was the same relaxing walk home as always. Digging around my pocket on a whim, I noticed something that should have been there was missing. What's the matter, Keiichi? The key to my house I always carry around is gone. Bad, where did I lose it? It's fine today since my parents are home, but still, this is bad. That sure is troublesome. Did you forget it somewhere? Did you drop it? Which one was it? Did I take it with me this morning in the first place? Huh? Keiichi, did that key have anything that would make it stand out? Yeah, it's on a keychain. It was a blue fur seal, something I made for some homework a long time ago. Huh? Does it have its eyes shut, like it's taking a nap? Oh, how did you know? Yeah, that's it. Mion looked away and began to whistle. See, you went for dinner at Angel Moore a couple of days ago, right? That night, the staff found a key, and there was a fur seal keychain attached to it. As she said that, she suddenly grew flustered, and added that Shion had told her about it. Huh? So I dropped it then. But aren't you glad they found it? I'm sure they're looking after it for you. That's right. Why don't you go? Shion looks the same as me, so you know her by sight. This is a rather unexpected development. Once again, I had no choice but to go and meet with Shion. But I also had to thank her for the bento from yesterday. Besides, taking some time chatting with this other side of Mion might be interesting. Half-jokingly, I began to think about things like this. Right. Angel Moore, was it? I'll head over to Shion's restaurant and get my key back. While I'm at it, having a nice water tea might not be a bad idea. You sound like an English gentleman. Totally doesn't suit you, Keiichi. Is this the restaurant? The one that Mion's little sister is working at? Yeah, why don't we go together, Reina? Sorry to disappoint you, but I have plans with my father today. Some other time. Reina seemed pretty disappointed about having to miss such a great opportunity. You said they're twins, but do they really look that much alike? Enough to mistake which is which? Yeah, they're totally the same. At least on the outside. Unlike Mion, she's real mannered and really cute though. In response to my teasing, Mion pouted and began to argue with me. Couldn't help but burst out laughing at Mion's little farce. After all, they weren't just identical, they were the same person. Sure, bud. Sure. After going home, I changed my clothes and dug my back out of the garage. Just thinking that I'd be able to meet Shion again gave me a mysterious feeling. Shion, a name for a different kind of Mion. She was a mysterious and ridiculous person, believing she'd fooled everyone like that. I noticed I was pedaling along quite happily. Could it be that I was looking forward to meeting Shion? Felt a sense of giddy anticipation, like I was headed towards a new friend's house for the first time. What Raina said about Mion actually being really feminine sprang to mind once again. The guilt from spying on another side of Mion, this self-consciousness from being the only one that knew about that side, these feelings mixed together. That was Shion for you, Mion's little twin sister. Until she felt like coming out and admitting she was Mion, it was fine to just call her Shion, right? Mion might be trying to have some fun by acting out a different persona. Oh, it's too bright, my eyes hurt. As I reached the top of the steep hill, the horizon expanded before me. I was almost at the station. Last time I was embarrassed since I was here with Dad, but this time I was alone. I felt strangely self-conscious about it. Meet Shion, get my key back. That was all this task was supposed to be. If I'd ordered around like this, maybe Shion would find me before she headed in for work. Hey, what are you doing, Keiichi Maebara? You're just here to get your key back, you know? It's not like you're some love-struck schoolboy here to hand over a love letter. Thoughts inside my head were slowly turning into a jumbled mess. I came to the realization that I was downright giddy. So I, for just a bit, just a tiny little bit, I got a little carried away and did something really stupid. I kicked over a parked motorcycle that was blocking the sidewalk. It was in the way, sure, but there was actually no need for me to kick it. I definitely think I got too carried away. Clack. Crash. So 3 bikes toppled one after another like dominoes. The loud noise they caused snapped me back to my senses. Oh shit. Hell do you think you're doing? And as those 3 bikes were right there. They looked exactly like what you'd call thugs up to no good. They lifted their heads up in an imposing manner and yelled angrily in a way I'd never heard before. 3 of them beelined towards me, the worn-down heels of their thin-soled shoes slapping noiselessly against the pavement. I could only stare listlessly, as if I were watching some far-off event that didn't concern me at all. By the time I realised it, I'd been grabbed by the collar and lifted onto my tiptoes. Don't be playing dumb. You knocked him over, didn't you? Huh? 3 thugs were completely ignoring the rules of grammar, but the way they spoke was enough to make me tremble. Just like that, my composure drained away. My legs buckled and my throat grew dry enough to crack. I'm sorry, I accident my ass. Kicked it, didn't you, dumbass? Completely at fault, so there was nothing I could say in my defence. As a result, I was pulled even higher. Hell, man, paint's all scuffed. Yo, brat, who put you up to this, eh? It's your goddamn fault. 3 of them continued to yell at me. I had no idea each of them was saying. I understand that it's trying to translate what would be like a rough accent, but I'm very posh. So, there's no way I can, like, do a rough accent that doesn't sound bad. I can't even try to do, like, a northern accent, because the way I speak at the moment is sort of mid, like, South Midlands accent. So, I can't even be like, I'm going to do a northern accent, because I can't, and that was West Country as well, but I can't do accents. So, getting further removed, I was only listening while dumbstruck. They grabbed an empty plastic crate from a nearby store and began to smash it repeatedly against a telephone pole. Cracks formed in the plate, plastic shards flying everywhere, then slammed at full force into the shuttered storefront. Smash. Shutter let out a frightening loud noise. Still not satisfied, they flipped over a case of empty cans, scattering its contents all over the place. This was not normal. It was something you saw on television or a manga, but I never thought seeing it in person would be this terrifying. I became painfully aware that the safety of civilized society was only held up by such a frail concept as morals. My knees clattered together noisily. Static began to pepper my vision. This is what you would call absolute terror. Or a panic attack. There was nothing I could do to stop this frightening spectacle of violence. I could only pray for help. The fear I felt was just too much. Would somebody help me? My gaze floundered about the surrounding area. I was surrounded by these 3 hoodlums. No way would there be a passerby brave enough to intervene. Maybe this is what you call reaping what you sow. If I were a passerby, there'd be no doubt I'd ignore what was going on. So this was somewhat of a cosmic retribution. Fucking say summit. I'll fucking stab ya. Angrily yelling loud enough to rattle my eardrums spewed forth right in front of my face. My waning consciousness was forcibly dragged back to the forefront. The thug could cock back his free hand, went to twisted his body when suddenly a metallic taste filtered through the back of my throat. Chill ran down my spine like a jolt of electricity. Seeing what was going to happen next, I squeezed my eyes shut tightly as possible and grit my teeth. You're making quite the racket, you stupid piece of trash. Get out of my sight. The voice was a short distance away. Still holding my by the collar, the 3 thugs spun around to look behind them. The fuck you say? Standing there was Mion. She stood there, displaying an imposing stature I'd never seen before. She didn't have the same look on her face as she did when we were playing around her in club. Those were the eyes that would instill fear in anyone who looked upon them. The eyes of a raptor. They were the epitome of terror. At the same time, they were the most reassuring things in the world. I'll only say this one more time. Let go of Keiichi and get lost. Mion, without an ounce of fear, laid down her ultimatum. Of course, there was no way those 3 wouldn't go absolutely berserk. The situation instantly turned explosively dangerous. Fucking bitch, I'll fucking bash your head in. Stop it, Mion. These guys are like rabid dogs. No amount of bluffing will work. Mion, it's dangerous. I knew what I was saying was pathetic, but I couldn't let Mion get involved in this. No matter how you looked at it, she was only bluffing. But did Mion even know the meaning of the word bluff? However, the reason behind everything soon became apparent. They were slowly increasing my number, little by little. First it was only businessmen on the way home, stopping to take a look. Then it was housewives in the middle of shopping, taking a gander. Next, what seemed like the owner of some store showed up, and it was pretty clear he wasn't just looking. Around Mion, there were already about 7 people gathered. It felt different than people coming out to support a friend. If I had to say why, it's because the group that gathered was diverse in age and gender. 3 thugs seemed to slowly realise there was something strange about the situation. Who the hell are these guys? I know, I've worked it out. Behind them at some point, 4 more people of different clothes and ages had gathered. A girl who looked to be in middle school, a man wearing a bakery apron, An old lady in a house-cleaning smock. More and more people of various ages. Their gazes, comparable to Mion's, were of hostility, of intimidation. Before I realised it, over 10 people had formed a ring around us. At that moment, 5 elementary schoolers ran in and joined the circle. There were some familiar faces, some of our classmates. These people were residents of Hinamizawa. More and more people from Hinamizawa gathered around. In obvious contrast, the residents of Okonomiya were passing by as quickly as possible. The fuck are you guys? Go the fuck away! Groups surrounding us had suddenly swelled to around 20 people. Completely encircled, the faces of the thugs began to show the first signs of panic. Nobody spoke a word, Mion included. It made everything completely unnatural, and depending on which side you were on, completely terrifying. Only the thugs' voices echoed out like they were screaming. Somebody took a step forward, closing the gap between them. As they did, everyone else took a step forward, shrinking the circle. The hoodlums went pale as they were pushed together, back to back, while still yelling angrily. They were trying to string together vulgarities, but for some reason it sounded like they were crying out for help. Alright, what's going on here? What's going on? It was sudden. A solidly built officer cut his way through the crowd. At some point, 2 police cars had arrived. Some passerby had undoubtedly called for them. Several burly officers appeared from inside the second vehicle. Oh, officer, good timing. There you go, the extortionists caught red-handed. Please arrest them. Fuck! It's perhaps the one that's wrong here. Mion, returning to her usual self, was nonchalantly pointing out the hoodlums to the police. Of course the thugs were furious. But now that it come to this, there was nothing they could do. It was their loss. Okay, come over here for a sec. Come on already. Officers handcuffed the thugs and dragged them towards the patrol cars. Fuck, let me go. We're the victims here. You listening, damn it? No matter how much of a ruckus they caused, the officers paid no heed. In the blink of an eye, they were crammed inside the 2 vehicles. Could still be heard yelling while inside the police cars, but what they were saying was no longer intelligible. Are you alright? Are you injured? It's probably a detective. The man leading the police peered at my face. No, not really. Well, that's a bit of a silver lining then. Well then, have a good year. Portly man after taking a quick look around to address the crowd. Thank you, citizens, for your timely report. Thanks to your efforts, we were able to keep the peace today. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you for your hard work, Detective Oishi. As a citizen, I thank you for your daily efforts. It's an honour for a detective from the 1st Division to come out all this way. Oishi and talk didn't have a very pleasant tone. It was a coincidence. I happened to hear the call over the radio on my way back from the prefectural office. Just made a little detour. Please, keep up the good work. I pray for success in your future endeavours. Ah, shucks. It's a good thing there were no injuries, though. Oh, Mr. Oishi, we're done here. Let's go. Well then, have a good year. I'm sorry, could you make way? The detective named Oishi, after jovially making pleasantries, lumbered over to the waiting police car, quickly set off, disappearing down the city street. It was over so quickly. So quickly, I was dumbstruck. I didn't even get to ask the officer what was going on. It's like they came here quickly to disperse the mob before any trouble could start. After making sure the police cars had left, Mion snapped her fingers sharply. Alright, that's a wrap. And don't come back. That was the signal. The tension melted away in an instant as everybody began smiling. The middle-aged man helped me up. Are you okay, Mr. Maybara? Next time, pick your fights a bit better. It's not like I've wanted a fight. You hurt anywhere? If you hit your head, it would be a good idea to get an x-ray taken. An old lady I didn't know the name of was concerned about my injury. You're lucky this happened right in front of the station when it was busy, otherwise we wouldn't have been able to gather as many people. Next time, be more careful. Hi, Hakun. You didn't miss much. All that's happened is, we got into a fight, accidentally. And that's the sitch. Ooh, okay. Well, so in this case, this is like the second game in the series, and so we're still in the, like, we're in the everything is fine with undercurrents of it not being fine phase, which is how the first half of a lot of these games go. So all that's happened so far is that we had a cooking contest, and then we didn't get to eat lunch when we're really hungry, and our friend's younger sister came to give us food, and we're all confused about who they are, and then we left our keys at the restaurant, so we're going to pick it up, and then we got into a fight. Honestly, it was even worn by the old lady in the smock. As she finished applauding the dispersing group for their efforts, she strode over to me. Well, you're pretty good, Keiichi, but I also think you should be more careful about who you pick a fight with. Thanks, Mion. You saved my bacon there. Like I said, Shion. She made a troubled expression as she turned to gaze downward, blushing in embarrassment. We have our close friend is called Mion, and she has a twin sister. called Shion, and Keiichi, the main character, is under the impression they're the same person. Because of, you know, just like who he is as a person. I heard from my sister. That for-sale keychain was yours, Keiichi? Oh, yeah, that's right. I was just heading to the restaurant. And you ended up feeling so excited you got mixed up in something weird? And that was my turn for my face to go red. I didn't want to admit that she was spot on. Well, I was just unlucky. But you really saved me, Shion. You don't have to thank me. So if you see somebody else getting bullied, help them out, okay? I value that kind of thing very highly here. I was well versed in that sense of camaraderie. But the way I was rescued just now, something seemed a little bit off about that. What I was helped out was honestly to an almost disturbing degree. You're coming to the restaurant, right? You must be tired, so why don't you relax for a bit? My treat. Seemed she caught the glimmer of suspicion in my eyes. Without waiting for my answer, Shion began walking. Basically, we're a dumbass who gets into fights. Without really intending to. After cooling off a bit inside the restaurant, little by little, I realised I was still on edge. There were spots here and there on my body that hurt, probably because I'd been so stiff with nervousness. So if you... they are... So some of them are in high school, some of them are in middle school. The basic idea of it, I realised I probably should have explained it, is Keiichi Maebara, the main character, the point of view character, has recently moved to this town called Hinamizawa, which is in the middle of nowhere in Japan. And it's a pretty small town near other places, but by itself it is quite a small town. And it's small enough that even there is a school in town, but it's pretty small. Most kids go to school elsewhere, so all the grades are mixed together, which is why our friends are all different ages. There's one person who, we're in like the second to last year, there's one person who's in their final year, and then one of our friends is our age, and a couple of our friends are like younger than us, are in middle school, I believe. So they're sort of all mixed different ages. And one of the conceits of this game is that there are 8 chapters to it, so this is chapter 2, or 8 different acts, maybe I should say. Chapters is a good way of saying it, and each time sort of, it's almost like time rewinds. So this is chapter 2, and you don't need to know what's happened in chapter 1 to understand it, but it is worth it. But at the same time, if you don't know, the like hints are really delicious. Like earlier in the game, we were having a conversation about how appearances don't always match personality, and the way that like somebody appears on the so far it's not been so much time travel as just like, I mean, so far it has been just like the first game, you finish it and then you start the second game and it's like you're starting from scratch, and the scenarios are different, but it's like also there's the Watanagashi festival happens in the middle of it, and so it's almost like different themes on the same, different versions on the same theme. It hasn't yet been explained if it is time travel or if it's just like, you know, you're interacting with like different universes where things go slightly differently. It's not been like made super clear. So pretty much, yeah. Quite Groundhog Day-esque. Got distracted because I'm wearing a fleece that I borrowed from my mum last time I was visiting her, and even though I've washed it several times, I just found one of her hairs in it. Got completely distracted by the long grey hair that I just pulled off my fleece. I'm like, is that me? Am I going grey in my 20s? I was not. But yeah, it's so there's things like the idea of the town gathering to protect one of their own, but it being slightly unnerving. That's a funky little hint for things to come, which is fun. Also, I won't. If you get the chance to play these games, I would really recommend it. Thank you for the follow, by the way. It is very much appreciated. But seriously, if you get a chance to play these games, if you get to see them on sale on Steam or GOG or somewhere like that, they're really good. they're kind of, the writing can be kind of janky and a little bit like, I don't know. So this is my first time playing through the games. I've read most of the manga. I never watched the anime. I read, I want to say up to like midway through part 7. So start with chapter 1. The first game, or the manga, or the anime, whichever you prefer, Onikakushi. So it was a game first, and then I believe a manga and anime, and I believe those two adaptations were at the same time. I'm not sure about that though, but it's it's not like the most clever horror writing you've ever seen, but I think it captures the horror of like the sort of like almost like Hills Have Eyes-esque horror pretty well, except it's not really like Hills Have Eyes, but the idea of being somewhere quite small and isolated that has its own traditions and its own like everything happens a certain way. There is a horror film that came out last year called Midsummer, which I believe, the impression I get is that has quite a similar vibe. If you go to this small town and then you're like, oh whoa, this is weird. Exactly. It's good though, I'm enjoying it. I really liked Onikakushi. I'd forgotten, I remembered parts of it, but not all of it, so it's like a fun journey for me as I go along, and I'm like, I remember this from the manga, and then I'm like, I remembered it completely wrong. Anyway, I'm gonna keep going. I'll sit here for ages talking otherwise, because I know what I'm like. Spots here and there on my body that hurt, probably because I've been so stiff with nervousness. Shion, who had changed into a uniform, brought over 2 glasses of iced coffee. Also, yeah, sometimes it's like this. Honestly, ooh. No, I like these sprites the best, I think. Here you go, iced coffee on the house. Just bring this coupon with you to register and it'll be no charge. My patheticness really knew no bounds, but since she went through the trouble, I might as well take her up on the offer. Even though it started as such a lovely day, I had to get carried away and do that stupid thing. I'd completely ruined it. Yep. But really, you really saved my hide there. I've really come to see you as reliable. Even I was scared, but Keiichi was in trouble, so I had to be brave and do my best. A little embarrassed by what she just said, Shion made a show of folding her arms boldly. Shion, really, thank you. I was thanking Shion, but I really wanted to thank Mion. Mion, really, thank you. Now, cheer up a little. Feel indebted, then you have the chance you should help somebody in need. When you have the chance, you should help somebody in need. Like, for example, if I'm ever in trouble. Please come and save me. Ah, yeah, of course. It's a promise. You absolutely have to. Taking advantage of my words, she seemed happy about my promise. So if I'm ever in trouble, Keiichi will come and save me. I hope trouble will come soon. Ah, you finally smiled. She said as she smiled herself, poking me in the cheek. Downtrodden Keiichi is as good as an imposter. Come on, smile, smile. That tickles. Stop. Thanks to Shion burdening, I finally cheered up a little. All the muscles in my body that stiffened because the incident finally began to relax a little. When you're in a better mood, don't you get a little hungry? I'm kind of hungry, so I want to eat some pancakes or something. Do you want some too, Keiichi? I wanted to show a little restraint, but restraint really wasn't my thing. That's why I replied without any. They're good, right? I'm pretty picky when it comes to pancakes. Don't worry. Our pancakes have a pretty good reputation. Shion ordered some pancakes from a nearby waitress. An employee ordering from another employee seems kind of weird. Hey, speaking of that, weren't you in the middle of a shift? You've just been slacking off while talking to me. I told my uncle you saved me when I was surrounded by hoodlums, so he's rewarding you. So I have the manager's permission. It's exactly the opposite of what happened. Is that alright? It's perfectly fine. By the time the pancakes arrived, we'd entered into a relaxed conversation. As the two of us ate pancakes, we livened the mood with some chit-chat. The important thing to remember throughout all of this conversation is that even though... the important thing to remember is that Keiichi fully 110% believes that Mion and Shion are the same person and does not yet believe that they are actually two separate people. Much like Drew and Danny, which is a funky YouTube reference. They are different nonetheless. About what was on TV, celebrities and that kind of thing. Hobbies, food, really nothing more than idle chit-chat. Talking together like this, I once again became conscious of Shion being a girl. Hey now, that's funny talk, Keiichi Maebara. Shion and Mion are the same person. If there's anything different between them, it was only whether or not Mion admitted she was Mion. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. He is so dumb. It consistently takes him a long time to figure things out. And I think I was thinking about this earlier. I think part of it is the way it's written. It's almost like it's designed to be a mystery. So the idea is that you're not really supposed to know why things are happening or what exactly is happening. Like, you're not supposed to know. One of the major questions at the end of the last game was, you know, is there actually something supernatural going on, or is it just shitty people taking advantage of a myth about something supernatural to be shitty? And Keiichi spends absolutely ages agonizing about it, and he's like, I don't want to believe that the people I know are terrible, but I also don't want to believe that there's something supernatural going on because I don't want to believe in the supernatural. And he takes ages. But it means that because you don't actually know yet, there's a lot of like exposition that's like, to get it really clear into your head. It's like, we can repeat variations on the same line several times over, and I understand in a metagame level it's meant to make sure that, like, it's almost like flagging this is an important thing for you to remember, but what it actually reads like is just that Keiichi is really dumb. Given that, how come our conversation was this different? Because they're different people. You fool. And Keiichi, you don't think of me as sister as a girl, do you? That's not true. She or a guy had punched the living daylights out of her. I think the reason you guys get along so well is because you have that kind of platonic relationship. It's a pretty rare and enviable thing to have, don't you think? I don't get what you're saying, but it really would be a waste to treat her like a girl. Hey, Keiichi, that's sexist. Hearing the word sexist was cause for introspection. Finally! What was I prejudiced against Mion and Shion for? Mion was Mion. She was the best friend a guy could have, no reservations, and head and shoulders above me when it came to club activities. If I'd met her 5 years earlier, my life would probably have been a lot more fun. Of this I had no doubt. Then what about Shion? She was Mion's little sister, and it hadn't even been 3 days since we met. Her relationship was much more distant, as the only thread we had in common was that I knew her sister. And for Shion, it was the same. I was somebody she'd met 3 days ago, only because I was a friend of her sister's. Difference between Mion and Shion? Friendliness? Familiarity? Playing around with those unclear thoughts for a while, I stopped listening to Shion. Hypothetically, okay? Are you listening? Sorry, yeah, I'm listening. This is just a hypothetical question, okay? Both me and my sister are in trouble, okay? We're dangling off the side of a cliff. Which one of us do you save? You can only save one. She wasn't saying it to tease me, but had a playful tone behind her voice. That's not a nice question. I want to save you both, but I can't do that, right? Right. You can only save either Shion or Mion. Who do you save? Poor Mion, I don't think she'd be in that situation in the first place. It's something she could easily get herself out of. But what about the normal, frail Shion? I guess I'd have no choice. It's not my sister, right? If Mion and Shion were different people, I suppose it would come to that. Couldn't confirm nor deny it. She should have been smiling, but her gaze was locked firmly to mine. In other words, that's it, isn't it? My sister is... Huh. Sorry, I messed up what I was trying to say. She was trying to talk in a light-hearted manner, but I felt that there was something more behind her words. Was Mion trying to tell me something through Shion? Not being able to put a finger on exactly what it was vexing. Shion, to hide her embarrassment, turned the conversation around. More importantly, just now, were you surprised? Of course I was. If I were Renos Toko, that would have been one thing, but for all those people, young and old, together, they were all from Hinamizawa, right? Yeah, that's right. Everybody in Hinamizawa is pretty close-knit. An enemy of one is the enemy of all. Nobody's going to look fond from the sidelines. They're all a pretty reliable group of residents. Somebody's been picked on, then everybody unites to get rid of the bully. It kind of sounds like a mafia or the Yakuza's brand of unity. You shouldn't say something like that. Something you should be thankful for. You were saved by that unity, weren't you? Never forget to show your appreciation. I half-heartedly agreed. I know full well I should be appreciative. Everybody really is close-knit, aren't they? Maybe it's because of tradition. Hinamizawa has been in danger of becoming a ghost town on several occasions. There's been a history of the villagers uniting together each time to fight for the village's continued existence. For example, Keiichi, did you know about the Hinamizawa Dam project? Hinamizawa Dam project? See, I feel like I've heard somebody talk about it before. About 10 years ago, there was a sudden proposal to build a dam here, which would have submerged Hinamizawa underwater. Oh, that story. I think I heard my dad talk about that, but I'm pretty sure that plan was cancelled, right? Well, it would be you living in the city now. We made them cancel it. Everybody banded together, so that was a well-earned victory. Sounded pretty much like the story I heard. Protest intensified to the point where it's featured in newspapers and magazines. As a result, the plan was suspended. The whole story with the dam apparently started before I was born. At first, the proposal was only for exploratory purposes, or a small dam to control erosion. But then the cat was let out of the bag. If it were completed, it would have been the biggest dam in Japan. Not just Hinamizawa, but several villages upstream would have been submerged as well. The protests immediately began. Petitions to cancel or relocate the project were drafted and submitted to the Diet. They even went so far as to go to the Ministry of Construction in Tokyo to hand over a direct appeal to the minister. Previous landowners sued the government, stating there were inconsistencies in the purchase agreement and the transaction should be nullified. Owners of yet unacquired land split their properties, increasing the number of landowners in order to stifle the project. It was all very precious when the land acquisition was still about money. Eventually, they started relying on eminent domain in order to seize land. It started at that point. The riot police began to get violent. Riot police? You mean the police? Why would they act violent? They punched. They kicked. There was a time I was hit. Right around here, I think. My skin split open and a whole load of blood spilled out. Saying that, Shion indicated a temple by poking at it. Just as an aside, that is one of the most chilling ways to convey the notion that you got a injury from police brutality. My skin split open and a whole load of blood fell out. Ugh, gives me shivers. What happened to the police? Filing a complaint against the riot police for police brutality would seem kind of strange for some reason. Naturally, they wouldn't be heed to something like that. They'd be able to establish proof on exactly who hit you, and they could justify their actions by saying you're interfering with police duties. My nana went off like a firework. After that, it was amazing. Like a full-scale war. We weren't just going to sit by and idly file complaints. We went on the offensive. First, in order to call attention to the government, they filed a temporary injunction in court. Then, in order to gain public support, they called in prominent scientists to state that Hinamizawa was a valuable nature preserve. Pressured the prefectural and municipal assemblies, saying that the prefectural governor ignored his constituents when he approved the project, and demanded his resignation. They completely and thoroughly denounced him. Naturally, in Hinamizawa, a ferocious conflict worthy of being called a dam war began. In order to suppress the police's brutality, they coordinated with the network channels and exposed the violence of the riot squad members to the public. On top of that, they put together a special expose themed around the government repressing the citizens and aired it nationally. It worked wonders. Following that, the SWAT teams had their hands cuffed. Day after day, the petitions and demonstrations continued. Propaganda was used to help garner support. Circular support gradually expanded outwards for Hinamizawa. Either that bore fruit, or the government finally decided against it. It was announced that the dam project was indefinitely suspended just a few years ago. We did everything we could. The entire village banded together and fought. At that time we were desperate, but now it's over, it's actually become a pretty good memory. Villagers' feeling of solidarity and unity still haven't faded. Shion said that as she focused off into the distance. I felt that those eyes weren't filled with anguish, but rather a sense of pride. Kind of solidarity is pretty nice. You don't see it too often, bridging the generation gap and unifying the region. I think so too. The dam project was a trial. I think that just the fact we were able to overcome it is huge. Fear I was feeling until just now gradually began to fade. When people began to show up one after another while I was engaged with those thugs, I thought it was frightening, but now I felt from the bottom of my heart that I'd been reared. Villagers prepared to defend their homeland to the death. The sense of solidarity that fostered. It might seem impudent to say this, but I was a little jealous. If I'd been in Hinamizawa when the protest against the dam was going on, I might have been able to share in that sense of solidarity. Keiichi, you weren't here at the time, so I don't think you can fully feel the solidarity in the village, but everybody shares it, thoroughly. Keep forgetting which voice I'm doing for which character. You may not be able to tell I'm doing voices, but I can. Even with somebody who just moved here, like you, Keiichi. She couldn't have been more right. So many people got together to help me out when I just moved here, even though they were strangers whose names I didn't know. A hot feeling began welling up inside of me. When I lived in the city, I didn't even know my own neighbours. I thought that was natural. I know my neighbours. I have one downstairs who's pretty cute and drives a really nice, not necessarily a nice car, but like a nice cute car. And she has a really cool front garden. And then I have one downstairs and at the back of the building, two retirees, and they help me move in. But the dude also stares at me when I bring my bins out, and it's really unnerving. And then I have one neighbour upstairs. Technically it's a couple, and I don't know, well I do know their names actually, and they're really loud and annoying. So at least I know of my neighbours. But here that was an absurd and pathetic thing. Even though I thought of them as strangers, all the other villagers viewed me as a comrade. Happiness and warmth. I was acutely aware of those feelings as they gradually welled up inside of me. Yeah, I mean, this is fair. I do vaguely know my neighbours' names, but mostly I know them by their personalities. Nice, annoying, creepy. Ms. Sonozaki, manager wants you to work the floor. A more senior waitress waved a hand and called out to Shion. Seemed like it was time for work. By the way, I feel kind of uncomfortable in myself reading the honorifics, so I've not been doing that. So rather than doing like Keiichi-kun or Kei-chan, I've just been saying Keiichi. That's just me though. Or like Mr. Oishi instead of Oishi-san. Okay, I'm coming. Sorry, looks like I have to get to work now. It's fine. Thanks for hanging out with me. It was fun. Oh, are you going home? Yeah, my mum gets fussy if I'm not home by dinner time. Seemed that Shion wanted to say something, but she swallowed her words. Like we hadn't talked enough, that kind of feeling. Looking at that expression, I regretted saying something that had disappointed me on like that. I was about to say I could stay for a little bit longer when Shion got up from her seat. Here, if you use the coupon, it should cover the pancakes as well. Saying that, she showed me a coupon booklet as she tore out a few sheets and handed them to me. Convenient, isn't it? It's a perk I get on top of my salary. It's okay, I can pay for the pancakes myself. Hey, being so reserved doesn't fit you, Keiichi. If I were my sister, you would have gladly let me pay for it, she said as she laughed, gently stopping me from opening my wallet. Being told so with such an encouraging smile really resounded with me. Sonozaki, sorry, could you take care of the register? Yes, right away. Later, today was fun. Saying that, Shion smiled one more time at me. Oh, Mion, thanks a lot for today. I owe you one. If you really think that, then return the favour. I'm looking forward to it. After I said it, I realised I mistakenly called her Mion. Didn't know if she realised it or not. Keiichi is a dumbass. Chaotic dumbass Keiichi. Lazing around and watching television after dinner was part of my daily routine. Might seem like a waste at first glance, but you could say it was an important time when I was able to accrue knowledge of everything from politics to economics to various trivia. After dinner was valuable time well spent while the brain was at its most supplied with nutrients. You idiot! It's obvious that Tokyo Children's Tower. Today I tested my knowledge of trivia by watching my weekly quiz show. Sitting in front of the TV, I was able to get a lot of the answers right, but if I were actually up on stage, I'd probably fail miserably. Again, the old game has me like freaking out about that. Keiichi, phone call from Miss Sonozaki. Okay, Sonozaki, that's Mion. It's a little late for her to be calling. I had a bad feeling about this. I had a hunch it was something to do with club activities. She's probably going to inform me about what we were doing tomorrow. This was Mion we were talking about. She might even go so far as to say we're doing club activities right now, so hurry up and come over. By the way, it was 8 PM. Hello? No way we're having club battle right now. Huh? That's not it. I mean, it was Mion, but it was a very un-Mion-like way of talking. Huh? Could it be... Sorry, could it be you're not Mion, but Shion? That's right. Good evening. I'm sorry for calling so late. For Mion, this would have been an ill-fittingly polite way of talking, but since it was Shion, it was natural, even though they were both the same person. With a dry smile, I enjoyed that mysterious feeling. No, it's fine. What's up? Keiichi, do you like sweets like cake or desserts? There's no way I hated them, and I'm an unabashed glutton. That's great. Actually, there's a new dessert contest this summer. Looks like they have a new dessert menu every season, so they're hiring taste testers for potential desserts. The desserts at Angel Mall have a good reputation. It's pretty difficult to get accepted as a taste tester. I'll get right to the point. Ta-da! You say ta-da, but I can't see over the phone. Still, could it be? That's right. I have a taste testing ticket right here. If you don't mind sweets, how about it? When you say how about it, you basically mean, with that ticket, I can eat all the new desserts I want? They say to beware of honey pots, but this is sweeter than any pot of honey. Or you can eat free dessert? No way. If you're okay with that, I'll register you as a taste tester. When you come to the restaurant tomorrow, just give the person in charge your name. Then everything will work out. When you say everything will work out, you mean all you can eat? For free? Yeah, it's free. There's quite a bit, so I recommend you come hungry. This is such a delectable opportunity, it was almost scary. Me, man, that sounds great. Also me, man, the calories, ooh, the fat content, oh, the sugar, rot your teeth. It wasn't me on posing as Shion in order to bait me into a trap, was it? What am I saying? They're the same person. Yeah, I know exactly what you're thinking, Keiichi. You're thinking, it's too good to be true, right? Yeah, I mean, I would never. I heard it from my sister, but you're really somebody who can't tell a lie. I'm not averse to somebody like that. Shion laughed with a voice that sounded a lot like how Mion would laugh. It's not like I was intending on it, but it just so happens that my shift ends early tomorrow. If that's not a bother, I thought maybe we could spend a little time together when I'm done. Your shift ends early tomorrow? Yeah. So while you take your time eating dessert, I'll finish up. Well, I didn't have any plans anyway. I don't mind hanging out with you for a bit. It's not like we have to go anywhere. I was thinking we could cool off in the evening while we take a walk. There's no reason for me to refuse. Out of courtesy, I might as well take her up on her offer. By the way, Keiichi, you and I have been meeting up every day, haven't we? Now that you say it, I guess we have. Since you said okay, we have an excuse to meet again tomorrow. Huh? What was Mion saying? Keiichi, your voice just cracked. What's the matter? Wasn't a video phone, but you could tell I was beet red. Well then, you should definitely come tomorrow. I'll take my leave here. Good night. Good night. Shion finished with what she called to say, ended the conversation without any chit-chat. When I returned to the living room to hang out the phone, TV was already off and my mum was sleeping in the rocking chair. Not feeling like turning the TV back on, I went back upstairs and returned to my room. I've only been receiving favours from Shion, haven't I? She brought me a bento and saved me when I got involved with those thugs. She's supposed to be a different person, so I could think Mion at school. Come to think of it, she'll probably just say she'll pass it on to her sister. Have to think Shion directly. Tomorrow, I'll have to repay her somehow. Funky music. I do like the funky music. Details of the Delinquent 3. Just why are you arresting us? Poor shit, let go of me. Kuma, you can let go of their arms now. Here, please sit down. 3 people rubbed their arms painfully. Kumatani and the others must have been squeezing them pretty tight. Haha, don't get me wrong. I haven't arrested you or anything. Kuma, go get me something cold from the fridge, please. Would you like your barley with foam or without? Plunked down onto the reception sofa, and despite not yelling anymore, they still had dangerous expressions. What I'd give to be young again. I'll drink even if you don't, you know? Excuse me for helping myself. Beer is best when you drink it on the job. As he downed the beer with glee, the 3 people exchanged glances, then finally reached out for their cans. They hadn't stopped being cautious. It was more like they didn't see a reason to refuse. They each opened their cans and began to drink the contents. Where did you guys come from? You're not from around here. Looked at each other again, suspicious of whether or not they should tell him. You all college students? Friends on a trip? Probably travelling on bikes or something. Sounds like fun I wish I was having. You don't live close by, do you? Where'd you come from? Osaka, perhaps? What's the matter to you? Now, there's no use trying to intimidate me. You would have all been in a lot of trouble if I'd left you there, right? They seemed to recall the thrilling event from earlier. Well, they could understand getting surrounded by students or a gang or something along those lines. They would never have been surrounded by locals, both young and old, both men and women before. It's easy to imagine how scared they must have been. If you were from here, people of Hinamizawa wouldn't have done anything to you, no matter what you'd done wrong. They're all special. Not in the sense of parents not wanting to get involved in their children's fights. If one person gets bullied, the full village will come out in force. It's not just an idle threat, you know. Couldn't argue against that. They themselves have been surrounded. They've seen it with their own eyes. There was no doubt about it. Around these parts, if the people of Hinamizawa give you a guy like that, you'll simply get demoned away and no one will ever hear from you again. You'll suddenly disappear without trace. Do you all have families that would get the police to search for you if you went missing? If not, then that's bad. You'll vanish and that'll be the end of it. Even then, we got there soon enough that nothing happened. If we'd been late, then things could have taken a turn for the worse. They've been forced into it anyway. These young men wouldn't be sitting on a couch right now. They might be lying on an autopsy table. Well, probably not. Anyway, perhaps they'd be a little more cooperative if we found them as corpses. How'd you all get to Okonomiya? By train? By bike? Bike. That's not good. They're still parked there, aren't they? If you go waltzing in to get them back, they might really gang up on you. How's that? We'll take them all. Calm down, calm down. Why are young people these days so quick with the shouting? Me too. You don't want any more trouble, right? Tell me the bike license plate numbers. I'll bring them here for you. Kuma, please borrow the loading truck we use for traffic disasters. Got it. It's fine. We'll get them ourselves. Do you really want to get surrounded again? Police may not be fast enough to save you this time. It's fine, innit? If we're surrounded, they're going to get knocked down. Hey, you 3. You're drinking the barley with foam, right? Try turning your engines on. I'll arrest you on the spot for drunk driving. That's fucking dirty. Your tax dollars will be put to good use in bringing all your bikes back here. Quit complaining and tell me the goddamn license plate numbers, you pieces of shit. The 3 were hesitant to tell him the numbers, since they're mumbling the lines of not remembering since they just bought the bikes. Well, that's what I thought. Kuma, go with the truck and bring the bikes back. Get the tough-looking red Yamaha, the bike with a broken red tail light, and the white one that had the packing tape stuck to the seat. It's those ones. They belong to you, right? They didn't answer. Those must be the right ones. Mr. Oishi, the truck is here, so I'll get going. Yes, please do. Wait, Kuma, hold on, one more thing. What's up? Look up the numbers. You don't want to bring the wrong ones back. The three people's faces changed colour. They made themselves very easy to understand. They could take it easy here until your bites get back. There's more beer, you know? We have some snacks too. Want to watch TV? There's probably nothing on though. Nah, thanks. We's leaving. Don't want to hang here forever. Suddenly there were 5 or 6 huge officers surrounding them. Clearly overpowering stares nailed them to the sofa. What do we do? Go on a trip by stealing motorcycles, huh? Students these days have too much time on their hands. F. Big F. Students these days do have too much time on their hands. But now I work with loads of them. Okay. Our next achievement is not easy being green. Which is intriguing. Let's figure out the truth of the twins. Stop being a fucking dumbass. I knew we wouldn't be doing any club activities after school before Mion even said anything. We'd invited over by Shion for an all-you-can-eat dessert. Made a point of leaving half my lunch uneaten. My expectations would only be rivalled by my hunger. Keiichi, you seem kind of happy today. Did something good happen? Did it? Guess it was obvious. Reina questioned me with a happy look. That's right, why don't I invite Reina for dessert as well? No, if I recall correctly, Shion said something about having a ticket. Worst, the restaurant might be admission by ticket only today. If that was the case, then having Reina be turned away at the door would result in the worst feeling ever. Got hiccups again. Free. Yeah, I got a little lucky. I'll tell you about it tomorrow. Reina, you'll definitely be jealous. Whoa. What is it? I'm jealous. Stupid candle. Keep doing this. Could be something cute? I wonder what Reina would think of the uniforms at Angel More. They'd definitely be a critical hit. Probably. It's probably pretty cute. What? Jelly. What is it? What kind of fortune were you blessed with? Huh? Could it be you participated in the draw Angel More about 2 months ago? And won? Hey now, I'd even transferred here 2 months ago. Oh, that's right. Then it's not the Angel's Dessert Festa then. Mion, what is the Angel's Desserts Festa exactly? You know, there's that family restaurant called Angel More right by Okonomiya Station. Every season they hold an event to promote their new dessert menu. That's today. Oh, it's no use going. The restaurant is reserved for people who won the draw. Mion explained once again what Shion explained to me last night. Reina will have to stop by the restaurant sometime. I'll do my best to draw a winning ticket and aim to enter the next all-you-can-eat event. Knock yourself out. By the way, this is just something I heard, but there's a rumour that tickets are being sold in the black market for a pretty penny. Hearing that story, I felt even more appreciative of the ticket that Shion had procured for me. I just thought I was lucky to be able to eat desserts for free, but turned out that the ticket was much more valuable. The number of things I had to thank Shion for had increased again. Thanks. I didn't know it was worth so much. Whispered in a voice only Mion could hear. That was how I conveyed my feelings. Mion looked at me for a moment before she tilted her head to the side and smiled confusedly. What? Did you say something? It'd be a problem if you said something to me right now. That smile seemed to be telling me as much. Guess Mion wouldn't be accepting any gratitude while she was Mion. I'll go to the restaurant. Today, I'll thank Mion while she's Shion. Well then, this old man will take his leave here. The work today is going to be a little rough. Later. Mion waved her hand energetically as she left. Hey, Keiichi. Mion has been kind of weird lately. Like, she's elated or something. What? You think so? Reina was pretty sharp when it came to these types of things. To me, Mion seemed the same as always, but Reina apparently felt something different. You don't know, Keiichi? I totally thought you knew. Reina's skirt fluttered as she spun around with a coy smile. No, what exactly? I was obviously wheezing my way out the question, but I wasn't lying. Honestly, I didn't really know what was going on. Why did Shion, a persona of Mion that she created, appear before me? Something was blatantly up, but Reina paid it no heed. Oh really? I wonder what it is then. When Mion is in a good mood, so is Reina. Oh. Saying that, she spread her arms wide and spun around happily. Don't know why, but Reina was in a really good mood. So infectious I had to smile too. Even the chirping of the cicada seemed joyful. For now. But, you see... Reina abruptly stopped spinning. Her expression returned to a more somber one. You see, Mion, lately, she's been in a lot of pain. What do you mean, pain? Pain that Reina was talking about probably wasn't physical. First she tried to pretend it wasn't a big deal, but, like a wound, began to fester. fester and grow. Eventually, she was no longer able to bear the pain and woke up in the middle of the night. And then she phoned Raina. Mion was crying. I'm sorry, what are you talking about? What am I talking about? Huh? What is Raina talking about? What? Hey, don't play dumb like that. Just now you said... I don't know. Raina doesn't know anything. Oh. Raina spun as she laughed innocently. Eventually, she appeared to get sick. Stumbling, she steadied herself with a hand against the wall. Oh, the room was spinning. That was dumb. That's what you get for getting carried away and spinning like that. Sorry, I think I feel sick. I lent the Ditz a shoulder to lean on. To be stumbling around like a newborn foal at this age is actually quite a feat. Raina, in a good mood, only babbled incoherently after that. And after as I responded to and chided her. However, the chance to revisit that heavy topic Raina had brought up before never arrived. Mion was crying, you say? Why could that be? Could it be because everything is garbage? The answer is yes. As soon as I got home, I tossed aside my school bag and changed in a hurry. The effects of only having a light lunch were starting to show, as my stomach began to let out fickle growls. Right, let's go to Angel Moore. It's time to face the land of endless dessert. Preparations for battle are complete. Tally-ho! God, I want to face the land of endless dessert. Angel Moore had a decidedly different feel to it compared to yesterday. Dessert festa today, admittance by reservation only. Nonetheless, the front of the store was being swarmed by over a dozen young men. Judging by how they were looking upwards in jealousy instead of entering into the store, they weren't invitees. Why would they gather here if they knew they couldn't get in? Planned out the answer when I passed through the crowd and began to climb the steps to enter the restaurant. Are you a participant? Do you have a ticket? Yeah, well, I was lucky. As soon as I said that, I was immediately mobbed. It's like being in the middle of a football scrum on a crowded train. What is going on? The reason was this. It wasn't just one ticket per person. One ticket could let up to 4 people inside. So it's like that, huh? Seems like I should have invited Rain and the others. Thanks for the tip. But I'll pretend I didn't hear that. With an uplifting smile, I turned and ignored them. When I did, the arms all reached out at once, like the souls of the damned seeking succor. A ticket can let up to 4 people. Please bring us with you. What selfish people. This is the only reason they were crowded in front of the restaurant. Dozens of wretched arms reached out for me like teeth on a giant rake and grasped at the air. I was already climbing the stairs to the entrance. What a heartless dick. Grab him. This isn't something to joke about. I flew up the rest of the stairs and threw myself inside the restaurant. It's like I'd entered a different world. Miserable throng of the damned hurled curses at me from the other side of the glass door. But inside this completely soundproofed and air-conditioned restaurant, with the angelic smile of a waitress to welcome me, there were nothing more than a refreshing piece of scenery. I knew I shouldn't laugh, but I began to let out a sinister cackle. Good afternoon. Welcome to Angel Moore. Due to today's dessert festa, the restaurant is reserved for customers who won the draw. Could I ask for your name and the ticket? I don't have a ticket, but I should be on the guest list. Maybara. There it is. I'm sorry, but may I please have your full name? Keiichi Maybara. My apologies for the inconvenience. You're here by special invitation, right? I'll show you to your seat. Please, this way. The mood inside the room was incredibly heated. Booths were packed to the brim. Men in their prime were stuffing their faces with dainty desserts that didn't suit them at all. It was rather a unnerving spectacle. Soon after I was shown to my seat, Shion arrived. Good afternoon. Welcome to Angel Moore. Hey Shion, thanks so much for today. I really appreciate it. You're a bit late, so I was getting worried. I'm really happy you came, though. It may have been because other customers were around that her tone was less casual, but she still capped off that welcome with her usual brilliant smile. As you can see, there's a lot of customers here today. I'm not sure I'll be able to take a break. Please, take your time and relax until I'm finished. When I'm done, let's go play somewhere, okay? Whispering just that last one into my ear, Shion winked and returned to the kitchen. Maybe it's because the mood in the restaurant was so heated, but Shion seemed a bit bolder. Even a small change in her mannerisms was enough to set my heart aflutter. Keiichi's got a crush. But he won't admit it, because crushing on your friend's sister is weird. Sorry to keep you waiting. When I was overwhelmed by the atmosphere inside the restaurant, orders from the new summer menu were carried out one after another. Every single one was extravagantly huge. I get it, you can eat all these amazing things for free. No wonder a ticket was worth its weight in gold. Top of that, all of it was plenty delicious. From dishes with a general appeal to insane ones aimed at a specific audience, there are absolutely no gaps in the repertoire. One button. Although it's always good to save. No matter how you look at it, I don't think one person can eat this much. Well, let's just leave it at that for now. It didn't feel relaxing in here at all, probably because the further inside the restaurant was clearly abnormal. All the other booth seats were crammed with groups of 4. Sleazy men were gorging like pigs on cutely decorated desserts, and it wouldn't have been surprised if they started licking the plates. It was more than a little unsettling. Piqued my interest, so I started listening in on the conversation. What things I heard! Angel Moe. Me? I bought my ticket for 700,000 yen, not 70,000 yen. I can read numbers on blah auctions. Told work I was attending a relative's funeral. Uniforms here are the greatest. I wonder if the waitress would wipe it for me if I spilled some water. I heard they're planning on selling Angel more figures. We'll have to pay heed at the next event. Speaking of which, that major figure maker decided to bring out the line. We must confirm the release date. The problem is, there's too many variations to bulk buy them. If it was just a normal set of family restaurant uniforms, there'd only be down 10 types, but including the secret set with different poses that are planned, there's 100 or so. Someone trade with me when I get a double. It's my duty as a fan to complete the collection right away. No, this is destiny between us. The world spitting out their mouths were pretty much all comprehensible jargon, but they still keenly conveyed that hidden behind them was an invisible aura of abnormality. Creepers, basically. Sorry to keep you waiting. Next dessert is Tropical Cinnamon Love Affair. Is something the matter? No, it's kind of different inside the restaurant today. Our restaurant's pretty famous in their circles. Well, we're aiming for that, so it's all well and good. But during the festivals, there's something in the more hardcore crowd, so it can be a handful. Waiters informed me quietly with a wry smile. Customers seem well riled up, almost like a pack of hyenas. It seems a lot of the customers today came from unreasonably far away. Those types of people are fairly prone to losing their self-control, so it's a little scary. If you don't keep your guard up, something bad can happen. What did she mean by keep your guard up? At that moment, a large crash resounded through the room. I turned around, startled to see that a waitress had fallen down and spilled the order she was carrying right onto a customer. Wait, isn't that Shion? I'm so sorry. Your food is... Oh, what have you done? Cheese that I bought at a certain specialty shop for a whole 18,000 yen are all sticky with frosting. The hell is that? Somebody who just met with a disaster. He seems awfully happy. How tragic. Seems that little Miss Matron here will have to wipe it up from the bottom of her heart. The conversation suddenly veered off in an odd direction. Hey, what did he say? Whatever that obviously, things I decide not to read out loud. I spread out the room. She went pale. She looked over to a more experienced waitress to health, but was only met with a head shake out of pity. Sonozaki was tripped. Customers who do that to purposely get their clothes dirty have been on the rise lately. Ah, so you're saying she was tripped? And what happened just now wasn't an accident? It was on purpose? Regular girls are careful about it, so they definitely won't end up like that, but Sonozaki is only a seasonal hire, so she had her guard down. Customers say could easily pick up on that, so she's been targeted since this morning. What's the manager doing? She just kicked those thugs out. We're in the service industry, so there's not much we can do about it. She laughed as she said that in a resigned tone. Still called what we in the biz call sexual harassment. She trembled uncontrollably with a dishcloth in her hand as she turned bright red. Man had been doused, laid out on the bench. My tongue prepared, trembling hand inching forward, goaded by onlookers. My point of view might be a ridiculous spectacle I could just smile wryly at, but from one's point of view, obviously pure humiliation. Also, harassment. When I was trapped by those thugs and were paralysed with fear, Shion fearlessly stood up to them and saved me. Still, as humiliating as it was, she was also partly to blame for this, and it wasn't as though her life was at stake, right? Even these guys, they were just going to jeer at her in a lewd situation. It's not like they're going to eat Shion alive or anything. It'd be alright if I just consoled her afterwards. Even I was scared, but Keiichi was in trouble, so I had to be brave and do my best. When I, a man, was being assailed by 3 thugs who were paralysed with fear, Shion saved me without second thought. What about now? Sleazy, filthy degenerates were trying to claim the blame on Shion. This time, our roles were reversed. Hey, Keiichi Maebara, if you don't save her now, Mom, you'll be able to repay the debt you owe her. You scared, Keiichi Maebara? That time, Shion, no, Mion didn't show even a bit of hesitation. Then what about now? I'm not hesitating. Then what? If you're not hesitating, then why aren't you helping her? It's all gonna go badly, but... Now, resign yourself to your fate. Shut up, you greasy fat ass. Get out of here before I get angry. I grasped Shion's shoulder firmly and pulled her behind me. Keiichi, yonder waitress is the one who wet my pants. One who needs punishing is you. Enough for the empty words. If you're a man, talk with your fists. Smash. My body was lifted in the air like nothing. I was thrown right back into my own seat. Kai is strong. No matter how you look at it, athletic, and this lad aren't even in the same area code. Many attack are unexpectedly well versed in some obscure martial art. Don't be underestimating us. The man smirked, showing off his gum line. Keiichi, are you okay? Damn it, how lame must I look right now? You were tripped, weren't you, Shion? They're the ones in the wrong here, so don't let them take advantage of you. That may be, but it was still my fault. Whoa, One more time. Let's do it. Crash. Don't you go thinking this is enough to make me give up. One more time. Like snap. Oh, you're all talk. I'm not done yet. Right, it's my will to fight. Not just running, I planted every one of my steps firmly as I closed the difference to the lard ball. Each time I ripped my foot off the floor, I could feel my budding spirit flare up from the point of impact. Everything slowed down like I was walking underwater. So I stepped forward in that viscous flow of time. I calmly measured the gap between us. With a difference in height, reach was my ultimate advantage. There was an ever so tiny distance between us where only my punch would be able to reach. Unleashed my iron fist of righteousness, but it flew towards his face slowly like I was punching underwater. Reacting to that with a smirk on his face, the flat so easily slipped inside of my punch. I hadn't realised it until now, but in this mind time, I was able to observe his buffing counterattack with almost painful clarity. His arm slowly swung around to a large windmill motion, wrapped around my whiffed punch, and descended in an arc. Arms swung around like the arms of a clock, came into contact with my head, twisting my upper body around. Dragging my head along, he followed through with another rotation. Fence on fence, it was a brilliant counter. I slowed after 3 rotations, I think. This viscous region of time, I was unable to struggle, and I could only wait dumbstruck until the moment I was thrown. The moment I was, that sluggish temporal anomaly abruptly ended. You lack training, young man. I was low to admit it, but against somebody trained in martial arts, I can't win through pure force of will alone. After my consciousness fading away for dizziness, when I came to, I was lying in my own seat. Thankfully, you weren't injured. The more experienced waitress than before wiped the sweat from my brow with a towel. While she was doing that, a red-faced and teary-eyed Shion trudged over. Are you okay? Doing that all for my sake? I'm sorry. Sorry too, I wasn't much help. I've never won a fight before. No, you're just trying to help make me happy. I'm not joking. It's just that I was thinking it was lucky Keiichi came here today. She said that she stuck her tongue out, teasingly. She wiped off the whipped cream with the washcloth she was holding with her hands. Sonozaki, you can take your break now. You still have 1 or 2 hours left, don't you? No, it's fine. Even though it's just part-time, it's still a paying job. I want to work properly when I'm on the clock. So really, you don't have to worry about me. She couldn't even put up a brave front. Would never even think for a second that Mion could be that weak. This was Shion, and she'd been harassed by some unreasonable riffraff. That was reality. Keiichi, don't mind me. Please eat as much dessert as you can. When you're done, we'll have you fill out a survey. Well, then I've got to get back to the floor. After some consoling words and a sympathetic smile to Shion, the other waitress started to head back to work. That's where I stopped her. Excuse me, could I borrow your phone? The phone? It's by the register. I'll show you where. I pulled a 10-yen coin from my wallet. It wasn't about saving face. My being a worthless coward was an unchangeable fact, but I could just cry myself to sleep about that later tonight. Now's not the time for tears. I had to fight. If I recall, 1 ticket is good for up to 4 people, right? Is it alright if I call over 3 more people? Yes, that's fine. For the time being, I'll write them down on the guest list. Could I have their names? I turned around, glared at the greasy hooligan who subjected Shion to that humiliation. There are 3 things that aren't worth working in your favour today, punk. First is that I owe Shion. Second is that I'm a man who's not afraid to throw away his pride to win. The third is that we're the most powerful club members in history. Please add Reina Ryuga, Stoko Hoja, and Rika Furude to the guest list. Understood, I'll do that. I'll have the best and most powerful club members join the fray. They can bring down 1,000 foes. You fat asses, prepare to meet your maker. This is a nice restaurant. The uniforms are cute. Reina wants to wear them too. Oh. On top of that, we're being treated to dessert. I'm deeply moved. Yeah, eat as much as you like. Don't worry about my share. Keiichi, enough of the charades. Let's get to the point. Reina and Rika put out the forks when Stoko breached the subject. After looking at them for a few moments, I pressed my forehead firmly into the table. I beg of you, I don't care if you make fun of how pathetic I am. Please lend me your strength. The 3 of them seemed surprised by the sudden turn of events, but nevertheless listened to what I had to say without making fun of my unusual behaviour. What's the matter? Something happened, didn't it? Didn't it? Actually, Mion's younger sister Shion is working part-time at this restaurant. Ah, that little sister you were talking about, right? Could it be her? Could it? She resembles her. Resembles her. Resemble? That's just Mion with her hair down, isn't it? Ah, I didn't know what to say. If Keiichi says that's Shion, then that's Shion. They might be twins, but can they really look that much alike? They're called monozygotic twins. They really can look identical. Reina gave the most plausible explanation, so everybody else was convinced. Well then, do you believe me? I'll get to the point then. Recounted everything that had just happened. How Shion was targeted, how she was antagonized by the customers, and the humiliation that was forced upon her. Also, how incredibly pathetic it was. I included everything without trying to hide it. That's awful. Poor Shion. However, for you to be unable to help her, should be a limit to how unsightly you can be. There's nothing I can say to that. Stoko, to admit that you lost and to seek help is a very difficult thing to do. Keiichi chose to help Shion rather than save his pride. So pathetic. Reina's follow-up stung a bit, but I can only be thankful she understood. Stoko was calling me all sorts of names, but there were no malign intentions behind her words. Then, what should we do? Her voice was monotone, but there was a hint of resolve in her words. Replied to Rika's suggested silence and kind of my own quiet resolve. Well, I thought it'd be something like that. It is a bit much for Keiichi to handle alone. Huh? Then you'll help? Of course, Keiichi. We'll help anybody who's being bullied. Remembered when I was cornered by those thugs. What Shion had said about the strong feeling of solidarity in Hinamizawa really began to hit home. However, Keiichi Maebara, now is not the time to get choked up with tears of gratitude. Now is the time to fight. Sorry, I owe you one. You tried your best, but didn't stand a chance alone. How sad, how sad. Rika gently pet my head for me. But there was no mind that spit in the palm of that hand. It was overflowing with a strong, dependable feeling of leave the rest to us. Mion can't join due to various circumstances, so I'll temporarily be taking command. Our strategy will revolve around Shion's defense and the extermination of enemies' combat capability. Who's the enemy? Are there a lot of them? From this point forward, anybody who messes with Shion shall be considered an enemy combatant. There are no rules of engagement. Conversation will be the dessert you just ate. Any questions? Everybody had re-entered club mode, their eyes peering at the riffraff clambering around inside the restaurant, like predators stalking their prey from the darkness. Rika held up her hand. What is it, Rika? Do we have to show mercy? Of course we don't have to. We have no need to show mercy to the rabble that would dare lay a finger on Mion's little sister. Then it's okay, Keiichi? Rika was serious. She was really ready to pretty much murder someone. Wink. I'm counting on you, Rika. I, Keiichi Maebara, should assume all responsibility. Rout them. Alrighty, Reina's gonna do her best too. Sorry, please do. Keiichi, you don't have to be so tense. Well, just wait and see. By the time you finish that parfait, we'll have finished cleaning up too. Well then, everyone, let's give it our all. Go for it, yay! Yay! Thus, the most powerful warband the world had ever known, trained by Mion, began to move. I was the oldest, the only boy, and behaved like a leader, but when you consider our club activities, I was by far the most junior member. Individually, everyone besides me had terrifying combat capabilities. If all of them combined their strength to protect Shion, I couldn't even imagine. I was probably about to witness something terrible and awe-inspiring. Samsaki, 5 deluxe parfaits for table 7. Sure thing. Shion carried the order to the tables. Trying to carry all 5 parfaits without wobbling took so much effort she didn't have breathing room to pay attention to her feet. Comrades, here she comes yet again. This time we'll have her spill everything on my pants and give them a Scourge just a short time earlier. This time another man was trying out for himself. The very depravity of this man was a full-out attack. Reina, this is Keiichi. Ambush them around tables 5 and 6. Reina, do you copy? Restaurant's uniform's so cute. I want to take them home. It's sort of like a board games / competition club that all of our friends, so us, Mion, and our other 3 friends who are all members of, it's basically just like people doing stuff together that's all competitive. So it's kind of like the sort of school that's small enough that you would just sort of like gamer club, but not necessarily like video games or even necessarily board or card games, just like get into competitions, and if you lose you have to pay a penalty club. It's kind of, you know, Shion, but swaying what carrying her face, was being chased by an equally swaying Reina. She's supposed to be escorting Shion, but Reina was instead transfixed by the back of a uniform. Normal person's point of view, it's probably like having a fox guard a hen horse. When it comes to Reina, things are different. Cute mode, 120% synchronization. We've won. When Reina's in that state, even the laws of physics don't apply. Pretty much, yeah. Shion's legs are steadying defenses, being targeted by those sleazebags. Now. The legs naked out trip Shion's defenseless feet. 3 of them at once. Thwap thwap. Happened in an instant. 3 falls writhed in pain as their legs bent at unnatural angles. What is this madness? Reina teetered into view and gave them a warning? No mischief, okay? No means no. No. Reina's gonna be the one to take her home. This girl was with that strange technique. Human scum crunched their bruised ankles as they passed out. That's our Reina. No matter how many times I see it, it's always frighteningly quick. Yeah, it's an unbreakable barrier. Anyone within a 2-meter radius who attacks Shion is completely obliterated by Reina. Reina is obsessed with cute things. Or perhaps, like, cute and kitschy. Like, it doesn't have to be what you would consider cute to count as cute, you know? Cute and kitschy stuff, that's her jam. Because it is like an inverted commas anime type visual novel, it's very over exaggerated and everything's over the top, but it's kind of fun that way, you know? She was making her rounds through the restaurant. There were people here and there collapsing with welts on their legs or hands. Oh, Keiichi, this is Reina. There's nobody left that'll bother Shion, so I'm going to take her home now. Reina, this is Keiichi. Good work. Please continue the mission. Also, permission to take home denied. Repeat, permission to take home denied. Then I'll just look. Guess just looking is fine. Wouldn't prevent her from guarding Shion, so I guess it's okay. Anyway, thanks to this, I knew who tried to mess with Shion. Anyone who was clutching at their arm or leg while they were writhing in agony was basically branded by their bruises. Currently, we have finished identifying all enemy forces. Proceeding to the next phase. Stoko, this is Keiichi. What's your status? This is Stoko. That's a rude way to ask. Keiichi, exactly who do you think I am? Stoko was in the kitchen. She'd spread open a sketch of the restaurant on the counter, complete with order chits and destinations, was now sorting through the freshly made desserts. Hey, what are you doing? Now, Sonozaki, it's alright, just leave it to her. More importantly, we're taking all these orders out at once, so I'm counting on you. Veteran waitress was briskly directing her juniors as the trays went out one after another. All the desserts that passed through Stoko's hands were delivered at once. Oh, lots of cute desserts are coming. Oh, I think you know this, but don't touch them. At least if you still value your life. I know, but certainly they were incredibly cute looking desserts. They're all works of art you can enjoy before even taking your first bite. However, since Toko had meddled with them, they were nothing more than an unpredictable danger. So Toko is trap person. Blissfully ignorant of the fact, with the men now stuffing their faces. Almost right away, they realised that something was wrong. Toko, what did you mix in there? Couldn't have been salt or Tabasco, right? Why, what are you saying, Keiichi? You said no mercy. I might not look like it, but when I get down to business, I tend to be very thorough. She said that, she found a dubious file in her hands before putting it away smartly into her pouch. Rika, this is Toko. Customers are moving. Escort duty is all yours. Leave it to me. Come to think of it, I didn't see Rika anywhere. Where could she be lurking? Clatter. Several men stood up suddenly from their seats, surveying the restaurant for something. Restless fidgeting, and that look of relief when they found the single placard hanging from the ceiling. Written on the placard was the word restroom. Began a mad rush in that direction. It wasn't just 1 or 2 people. All the people that were branded as the enemy were standing up from their seats while clutching at their stomachs. I think it's a little too greedy. Where's the washroom? Toilet. I felt dirty just thinking about what Toko probably did to their desserts. Problem was how to follow this up. I was intrigued, so I followed the rest of the men to the washroom. A narrow hallway connecting to the washroom was crammed with about 10 men. What is this? So I peered over to see what was happening. Whoa. Seems the toilet was clogged and backflowing, unleashing a loud gargling sound and a terrible stench. No way to use it in this state. Damn, that's Toko. What a frightening display of power. This wasn't Stoko's doing. It was divine punishment. Yeah, they were just unlucky. Just apologetically one of the employees here to clean it up. God. What do we do? It's a brilliant combination of traps. It'd be better if there was one more push to the kicker. Seeing as it was Toko, she wouldn't have overlooked that. Place of women's restaurant. Isn't using the girls' restroom going to get us in trouble? I'm sure there's no female customers in today. Why didn't I think of that before? What a brazen bunch they are. Men, sweat now pouring from their brows, made a mad rush to the girls' bathroom without any hesitation. There was a girl there. It was Rika. Men stood there, frozen in various complicated poses, indicating their surprise. Rika is pretty chill and calm and collected, and good at manipulating people by appearing really cute. I mean, because she is cute, but she's also seemed dumbfounded by the sudden turn of events. But the look on her face was strangely perfect. This is all part of the plan as well. You sly dog, Rika. I should never underestimate you. Mademoiselle. Men's room is a bit dangerous at the moment, so we just wanted to borrow the toilet. But I guess it's not right after all. Right, comrades? Just by having a girl stand there in the restroom? I never know it could put up such an overwhelming barrier. No way anybody could be brave enough to lift Rika out of the way to try and do their business. It's the most they could do, after all. If I were a man in full club mode, for example, someone like me, if it were, they could plough through Rika without a second thought. And what are you going to do, you fat asses? Price for tormenting Shion still hasn't been paid. If you're in trouble, I can help you. That'd be much appreciated. How would you do that? You can use one of the toilets outside. I'll show you to them. Be perfect. Let's read it. Ugh. Rika, with a pleasant smile on her face, guided them with a casual stride and a step. This race against time, her slow pace was sadistic torture. Is this toilet far from here? We'll get there soon. Obeying Rika's directions, they're about to leave the restaurant. Keiichi, finish it. Give them hell. Yeah, leave it to me. Spread my arms out and block them as I try to leave the restaurant. What is the meaning of this? We're at DEFCON 1 here. Listen up, you. Know what happens if you set one foot outside this door, right? The meaning of this statement. Look, it's written right here on the ticket. Not valid for re-entry, see? You're free to use any toilet you want, but the moment you step outside that door, you can't come back. Remember this. I don't want to guide anybody who says scary things like that. Everybody panicked as Rika began to turn back. They could only figuratively and literally fall in line. All the waitresses also lined up to see them off. Thank you very much for coming. Bell rang playfully as the door shut behind them. How pathetic. Too easy. We did it, yay! Rain and Stoko clapped their hands together. Phew, couldn't hold a candle to those guys by myself, but when we get the group together, we send them packing like a herd of cattle. With opponents this week, any of us could take them on by ourselves. Keiichi, you need to step up your game. I was loath to admit it, but Stoko was right. Damn it. One day I'll be strong enough to be worthy to stand alongside them. But I'm really glad we were able to check Mion's little sister. Now there's none of those bad people with pulling pranks left. You're blessed to have such wonderful friends, Sonozaki. Matron waitress was also smiling. After the herd was sent packing, it calmed down completely inside the restaurant. Shion flushed as she glanced between us and the now empty seats. You did that for me? I mean... Shion's expression was somewhere between happy and guilt-ridden. Face had turned slightly red as she ran into the kitchen. Oh, Shion is cute. They really are twins. Given Shion's personality, there's no way she'd thank us directly. Might have been a bit excessive in our means, but I'm really glad we were able to save her. I think you know this already, but Sonozaki is very grateful. As a representative of the floor staff here, I also extend my gratitude. Pause quickly spread throughout the entire restaurant. Not only the other waitresses, but also the customers that were genuinely there to enjoy the desserts. Everyone was lauding her efforts. When we had mostly finished eating and were filling out the survey, Rika made her return. Oh, good work. Did everything go alright? You took a while. I'm sorry. I got lost on the way back. It was a lot of trouble. Rika likes to stray down some pretty strange roads, so she gets lost pretty often. How'd she get lost just guiding people to a nearby toilet? Everybody has their strengths and weaknesses. Rika has a lot of strong points that more than make up for that. Can see that. The expression in the girls' room. You're quite the thespian. Keiichi was being horrible. He was thinking if I were in their shoes, I'd just run her over and rush into the washroom. What? Didn't when I was thinking shop on my face again? Keiichi was no, I mean... I love that. Laugh about it then. But a few days later, a newspaper headline read, 10 unidentified men were taken into custody in Hideyama. Men claimed they travelled from Shishibone City by foot to find a toilet, but the spot taken into custody was several kilometres away from Shishibone. When I read the article, I realised how terrifying Rika really was. Well, I hit the wrong button there. Maybe. Well, thanks for treating me. I'm happy that you called me here today. Oh, are you going home already? You can stay a little longer. was in the middle of organising some drawers. If I leave it like that, I won't be able to put out the futon. Ah, I guess that's true. Oh, looks like I called her at a bad time. Yeah, when I phoned her, she was in the middle of cleaning her room, but she still came. Well, it was an emergency, so it couldn't be helped. Besides that, I got to eat a lot of sweets, so I'm very happy. Thanks for today. Sorry for calling you out so suddenly. Tell Shion I said bye. I'll be taking my leave then. Reina, please take your time. Yeah, I will. Later. Rika and Stoko in a good mood horsed around with each other as they left. Well, Reina and I were having a discussion about dessert we just ate. Shion arrived with some coffee. Oh, did the two little ones leave already? Hearing them call the little ones is so strange, I inadvertently burst out laughing. Apparently they were in the middle of cleaning, so they went home. Should have brought enough coffee for 4 people. I heard from my senior. It seems that you went through a lot of trouble for my sake. It was no trouble at all. None other than Shion was in a pinch after all. Oh, is it right if I call you Shi-chan? It matches with me-chan, Mion, so I thought it'd be cute. Ah, well, whatever you want. Shion seemed a bit hesitant when Reina started talking to her. Reina's pretty sharp about something, so Shion was probably worried that Reina would find out she was Mion after talking like this. Shion said she'd have work soon and hurried back to the kitchen, leaving behind coffee for just the two of us. She was a bit upset with Reina. Maybe she thought I was being too friendly. She's just embarrassed. Still, they really do look the same. Instead of twins, it's like there's another Mion. They look the same, but the atmosphere around them, or rather their insides, are completely different. I think those types of twins are pretty interesting, though. You think that, Keiichi? I think they're identical on the inside, too. Somehow became silent. Reina was just staring at the pattern the milk made on the surface of her coffee without saying a word. Somebody like me who could never stop talking. It was a rather uncomfortable moment. Reina's off-put mannerisms seemed to imply I said something I shouldn't have. Unpleasantness carried on for a little while. Reina, you said it today, right? That Mion was hurting. Did I say something like that? Don't play dumb with me. You definitely said it, on the way home from school. Reina answered by laughing while continuing to play dumb, questioning if she said that. Thick-headed as I was, I had a faint realization. Reina wanted to say that I was the one who hurt Mion. But when? Me? Hypothetically, if something like that happened, it's not something I did out of malice. Continued the conversation, but left out the assumption I'd hurt Mion. Yeah, I think that's true. I don't think Keiichi had any bad intentions. Reina replied, also leaving out the assumption I'd hurt Mion. But that confirmed it. Don't know how it happened, but it seemed that I'd hurt Mion, and Reina was upset with me due to the fact I hadn't realised it. I don't want you to misunderstand. It's not like Reina's mad at you. Seeing right through what I was thinking, Reina said that even as she smiled even more gently than usual. It's just that, how do I say this? It's hard. If I made a mistake, please say it clearly. I'm so thick-headed I disgust even myself. If there's something I should apologise for, then I'd want to know even a little quicker so I can make up for it. Don't think that Keiichi made a mistake. Depending on how you look at it, Mion might be the one who's being unfair. And taking the stance that the girl was the one being unfair might be unfair in itself. What Reina said was draped in mystery. Unfortunately, I had no idea what she meant. The only thing I got out of it was that I had said or done something to inadvertently hurt Mion. I'm begging you, Reina. Mion is one of my best friends. I don't want to leave something between us that could cause problems later on. So tell me, how did I hurt her? I can't tell you. You need to realise something like this for yourself. Reina was smiling like she always did, but spoke bluntly. Very fair and sensible. The fact that she had the strength of will surprised me for a moment. I'm asking you because I can't figure it out, you know? My tone had unintentionally become harsh. Reina was also surprised for a moment, but quickly returned to her flat demeanour. Well then, I guess just a hint is fine. This is special, okay? Sorry, please. I'll think about this seriously. Reina looked around the restaurant, searching for Shion. Shion was working enthusiastically, but without confidence as usual. Shion, if she ties her hair up, it's impossible to tell apart from Mion, right? Yeah, that's true. So if Mia let down her hair, would she be impossible to tell apart from Shion? Probably, but what does that have to do with anything? What if that, her being the younger twin was just a lie, that she was just Mion pretending to be her sister? What would you think? Reina was sharper than her daily behaviour belied. I was hesitant at verbally affirming that, but it was the right answer. It might be unfair to answer a question with another question, but if, like you say, Mion is just pretending to be Shion, what purpose would that serve? After maintaining silence for a while, Reina glanced at the clock. That's what I want you to think about. That was maybe too much of a hint. After thanking me for the dessert, Reina stood up from her seat. Sorry, I was asked to buy a few things, so it's about time I left. Is it okay with you if you tell Shion I'm sorry I didn't say goodbye? Yeah, I'll tell her. Sorry. Huh? That Reina's so short-tempered. Sorry for getting angry. Keiichi isn't the only one at fault here. Reina was harsh in her apology, but I was the one who really should have apologized. I think, to be honest, it's something that doesn't bother her much anymore, so if you want to forget the whole thing happened, that's fine too. But you see, as a girl, I'd hope that Keiichi realizes it by himself and comes to apologize of his own volition. Haha. Switching to cute mode only at the end, she disappeared in the direction of the register. Keiichi done goofed. And I was staring into space. Somebody suddenly tapped me on the shoulder. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm finally done. Was Shion, who'd changed into her street clothes. She flashed a smile while greeting me. Thank you so much for today. Everything was delicious. We were all really happy with it. Oh no, don't mention it. But I'm glad everybody had fun. Huh? Girl that was just here left as well? She had some shopping to do. She said she was sorry for leaving without saying anything. I see. Well then, should we leave as well? Even though I'm off duty, I'm still nervous around the workplace. We ended up strolling without any destination in particular. I've been sitting the entire time, so I was in need of a breath of fresh air. I definitely prefer this sprite. I mean, these sprites are also pretty cute, but I think this one's my favourite. Keep trying all the sprites with the different characters, see what they're like. When we left, the sky had already become draped in a veil of darkness. It's gotten dark already. Exactly right. Even though I promised I'd be finished early. Shion seemed upset that there wasn't much time left. Oh well, at least we got a little time to chat like this. Saying that, Shion set out for the tree-lined boulevard behind the station. The front of the station was slowly becoming crowded with businessmen heading home. Well then, I guess I should start with an introduction. I was mistaken for my sister when we first met, so we never got to properly introduce ourselves. I could only smile and laugh wryly. My name is Shion Sanozaki. I'm only similar to my older sister in appearance. My sister is rough around the edges and hot-headed, but I'm a composed and methodical person. Remember what Reina and I had been talking about earlier? Said that they looked the same, but their personalities were different, while Reina said they were both the same. Don't know what tipped her off, but Reina figured out that Shion was Mion. Also related to that, she said I'd hurt Mion. Reina had given only one hint. That was, why is Mion pretending to be Shion? Shion, what did you hear about me from Mion? My sister seems to have taken a liking to you. She talks about you quite a bit. Like about club activities, about getting pranked and pranking you back. Boyish kind of stories. You really do get along. Boyish kind of stories, huh? Come to think of it, I think there was something Shion told me before. Keiichi, you don't think of my sister as a girl, do you? Was that what happened that hurt Mion? Mion herself said that she wished she'd been born a boy and that being a girl doesn't suit her. She said a lot of things to that effect, didn't she? Mion is the unhatched yet egg bicon that we deserve. Keiichi, you look like you're having fun. Haha, that's not true. Even though you're bad at hiding things, you sure like to lie, don't you? Still, I don't hate you for it. Saying that, she lightly chopped my forehead. Exactly. Even though she was enjoying herself, I was still trying to figure out how I'd hurt Mion. I was having a hard time figuring out the riddle that Reina had left me with. Hey, see that? Don't you think it's pretty? You think even a guy would find it pretty? Yeah, it is pretty. She was having fun window shopping, dragging me by all sorts of stores I would normally never enter. It wasn't like she was begging me to buy or anything, and I wasn't getting bored either. There was just something to talk about as we walked around. In an easygoing way, we browsed through numerous stores. We discussed all sorts of topics I knew nothing about, but I didn't lose interest. I had the feeling she was good at conversation. I think I've worked out what the thing that hurt Mion is, but my guess is Mihon's hurt because she thinks that we prefer Shion or prefer the Shion character. And so that's what's upsetting her, because she thinks that she's the worst option between the two. Keiichi, is this your first time doing this kind of thing? Yeah, it sure is. If somebody didn't bring me into these accessory shops, I don't think I'd set foot in one in my entire life. Not that. I mean, more like this. I leapt back when Shion suddenly linked her arm with mine. Hey, you don't have to act so surprised. It's not embarrassing to link arms with a girl, is it? Shion's expression was a little miffed, but suggestive at the same time. I'm not that embarrassed. If you want some arms, I can spare one or two. Here. Keiichi, you really know how to entertain someone. See why my sister took a liking to you. If you don't want my arm, I'm taking it back. Come on. I'm happy to have it. Laughing in good spirits, Shion locked her arm with mine. My heart skipped a beat. This question might be a bit mean, but I want to enjoy seeing your reaction. Keiichi, have you ever been arm in arm with a girl before? Around a bonfire at a field trip doesn't count, by the way. Little devil, she was asking that question knowing full well what the answer would be. While a field trip's around, this is rough. Kid's only 17. I had none of that shit when I was a teenager. I was closeted in a same-gender school. Ain't doing none of that shit. Having emotions for other people, even if they were crushes, not in this economy. Not when you're in that sort of school. So, teenagers having romantic lives makes no sense to me, because I just don't. I didn't. All the friends I know who did had it pretty rough, so it always ended badly. I thought as much. Impish laugh, it really is the same as Mion's. You really are Shion, right? You're not just Mion saying you're Shion, are you? Are you thinking that my sister might pretend to be me? Thought you were twins until just now, but the way you mess around is just like Mion. You're just saying that. You can tell us apart easily. What do you mean by that? If my sister was holding her on like this, would you get nervous? Yeah, that is the impression I get. I would. Be completely on edge, worrying about when she would go for an arm lock. She laughed so hard she had to hold onto her sides. Hey, is it really that funny? You're tearing up. No, it's just... I was just thinking about how hopeless my sister is. She isn't able to get a young man hot and bothered while she's arm in arm with him. She really is a failure as a woman. Remembered once again I'd heard someone say that before. Sometimes I think my sister would have been better off if she'd been born a boy. She did, I might have fallen for her. Just kidding. Mion did say something about wanting to be born a boy. My sister is on the fence as to whether she wants to be a boy or girl. Well, it's the price she pays for living an awkward lifestyle. Non-binary, unhatched egg. Icon we deserve. I don't care if it's not canon, I'm making it canon now. I don't care if the wording is rough. If she's going, I don't know what gender I'd prefer being, non-binary bicon. Just leave her be. You've been saying some pretty harsh things about your sister right now. Mion has some soft parts to her that I don't like. The way that Shion talks somehow sounded cold. Shion, do you not get along with Mion? Well, we get along well enough. Still, there's a few things for which I can't forgive her as a sister. Hey, look at that. Don't you think it's cute? Turned around to look at where Shion was pointing. Where there was a familiar display of a toy shop. Shame told it was the stage for the incident that occurred during last Sunday's club activities. What happened last Sunday was a board games tournament, where we had to bribe some people to win. What Shion was pointing out was a display with a plethora of adorable dolls that looked like the sort girls would like. But why girls like these kind of things? It's because they're cute. Don't you think they're cute, Keiichi? As a not girl, can confirm cute shit is cute regardless of your gender. I don't really get that vibe. Now, which one do you think is the cutest out of all of these, Keiichi? Shion, putting on my arm, motioned to the row of dolls. They were lined up like they were close sisters taking a commemorative photo. A few of them seemed strangely familiar. I've seen those four over there somewhere. Oh, I guess they really are famous, even if you know about them. Shion sounded impressed. Even you know about them, rather. These new dolls that were just brought in from England. They still have some available here, but around the cities they have trouble keeping them on the shelves. Even though they're supposed to be inexpensive, it still seems like they're starting to come at a premium. Guess girls still like the kind of things even as they grow up. It depends on the person, but I think that girls who don't like stuffed dolls and stuffed toys are pretty few and far between. I mean, I've got a few Funko Pops, but they're on a wonky shelf, so they're just lying down. And then I have a Moogle and a Carbuncle and a Possum and a little Labrador. So, I don't know. The Possum was really cute. My friend sent it to me for my birthday, and it is the cutest shit in the world. Oh, I love possums so much. It's my fun possum story. Even my tomboy of a sister said these were adorable. Oh, even Mion says they're adorable? That is pretty amazing. That's right, I just remembered. Storina gave this one to us after Sunday's event. Except for Mion, who's relative, everybody had gotten something. I really do think that one's the best. Pretty Dress really gives it something. That's it. That's the one the shop owner gave to me. So it seems. Shin replied softly, but clearly. Uncle Yoshiro gave those out as thanks for helping liven things up at Sunday's event. Seems he gave them to the 4 friends my sister brought along. So, you got the doll with the dress then? What did you think? It was really cute, right? As a man, there's no way I would think it was cute. So what did you do with the doll? I wasn't really going to do anything with it, so I gave it to someone. To who? Shion laughed. I could hear an audible click run through my head, like the piece of a jigsaw puzzle snapping into place. I got it wrong. Rip me. Guess I'm not as in tune with people's emotions as I thought. Thank you very much for today, everyone. You made the event turn out great. It's not much, but here's something extra for today. Uncle Yoshiro, isn't there a little something for me too? My. Quite an adorable one, is it not? As Toko and Rika opened up the bag, there were cute little stuffed animals inside. Wow, they're so cute. Can I take them home? I really can? Which means there's something for me too? Whoa, got a pretty adorable one. There's a stuffed toy wearing a beautiful dress, one you'd use to play house. Reina's eyes were glued to my stuffed doll. Toko was the same, and Rika too? I see. It wasn't just Reina's, Toko and Rika. There was one other bust who seemed jealous. Keiichi got the one that fits him the least. Not wanting to expression to give it away, she said that to hide her embarrassment. Well, I guess it's cute and pretty. I can admit it's adorable, but a doll with changeable clothes is, if you walked around with it, you'd be treated like a widow starting tomorrow. Definitely. Mion's usual teasing way of talking. Looked around to see who should I give the doll to. Mion was right in front of me. Mion was the only one who hadn't received a present, so I thought about giving it to her, but I didn't. Huh? You're giving it to me? To Reina? Thank you. Turning away from Mion's covetous gaze, I gave the doll to Reina. Mion's smile bore into my back. No way I could have noticed. Why did I not give it to Mion? Since Mion was the only one who didn't get anything, wouldn't it have just been standard practice to give it to her? That time, I'd noticed something was wrong. That's why I said it. Just protecting myself. If I didn't give it to Reina, then walking the streets at night would be scary. No doubt. Thought about giving it to Mion, but it just didn't feel right. Something dark flickered briefly in Mion's eyes, but at the time I didn't notice it. I thought to give it to Mion. Why didn't I? You know it. I sometimes wonder why I wasn't born a boy. Mion herself had said that with a laugh, so I didn't realise I'd hurt her. That's right. Mion was more suited for cool things, so I think having you help here was the right choice. Huh? Shion's probably thinking she misheard me. Uniform, it would never suit somebody like Mion, but if it's Shion, I think it works. Huh, you mean that, Shion, like Reina often does, spaced out and turned bright red. Mion seemed really happy. She seemed happy I complimented Shion. Saying that it didn't suit Mion, but it suited Shion. Saying that it suited her seemed to make her happy. Mion's younger twin sister. She's got a different personality, but she's a dead ringer for Mion. That's right, we look similar, but our personalities are completely different. I'm very kind and thoughtful, but Shion has a cold and scary personality. I think that when you guys were born, Shion got all the feminine aspects. Unlike Mion, she's a cute, cheerful girl. Mion made a strange face that was both angry and happy at the same time. Seemed she was happy I said Shion was cute. Sneaking look inside the box, she said she just put some of the leftovers inside with an lie. There was an elegant meal stuffed inside. Is it really okay? It's not like a ton of hot sauce mixed in or anything, right? Jeez, I'm not my sister. I wouldn't do that kind of thing. If you don't like it, you don't have to force yourself. No worries, take care. Look after yourself. I'll just go home and eat it myself. Not my sister. It was how she said it. Shion was insistent she wasn't Mion. She was saying that she was Shion and I shouldn't think of her as Mion. When Mion was Shion, it carried a special meaning. Mion is mysterious, right? She's a girl, but it's like she's a guy. That's what Reina said. But you see, even that Mion is actually really feminine. Reina, how much should Mion pay you exactly? That's not true. Jeez, I'm trying to have a serious conversation, you know? Reina began to pout. Now probably wasn't the right time to joke around. Mion is a competition, so she's trying hard to lead everybody. But she's really a very cute girl. I really don't want you to forget that, Keiichi. Never was a riddle to begin with. Reina was saying the answer right from the beginning. So then, I don't know what's going on anymore. Yeah, I know Keiichi didn't mean anything wrong. At least he didn't intend to. Yeah, Keiichi isn't the type of person to hurt others, so there's no reason for you to feel hurt by this, Mion. Then what was it? Frustration? Sadness? I don't know at all. Did you want it? The doll, I mean. It wouldn't really help even if I gave you the doll I got, would it? You're right. How about this, Mion? Try asking Keiichi. You might be able to solve the problem if you tackle it head on. There's no way I could do that. Is it too embarrassing to do that now? I want to try again as somebody other than Mion. This time I can be more honest with myself. Don't get me wrong, a pretty fond relationship I have with Keiichi. Might be selfish, but one more time. Keiichi would definitely notice. Wonder if that's true. Reina will cheer you on too, so let's find a way for you to ease your sadness. Believe me, I won't let anything happen that'll make you cry, Mion. I'll believe. I'll believe. Keiichi would definitely come to understand. He'll say he's sorry for saying something so callous. Then he'll bring you to that store and buy that doll for you as a present. Yeah. And then, Mion, you'll say thank you. You can't fool around. Say it honestly. Yeah. If I said I wanted it, Keiichi, would you buy it for me? Mion said it quietly, doing her best to quell her embarrassment. Would have reflexively begun to tease her to hide my embarrassment, but like Mion, I quelled that impulse. Okay, Mion. As thanks for everything until today, I'll buy you whichever one you want. My voice cracked with the unfamiliar words. In order not to lose Mion trying her best, I tried my best as well. But I'm not Mion, I'm Shion. Shion, then. I'll buy it for you, Shion. Shion looked down. Red-faced, she pointed at the doll and dress through the store window. Is it really okay? The one in the dress is a little expensive, isn't it? This isn't a matter of price, this is a matter of feelings. When I was saved by Keiichi from those unsavory customers, I was really happy. Even though my co-workers didn't save me, Keiichi did. You grabbed me by the shoulders really firmly, right? Right then, you were really cool. Even then, I was so embarrassed I probably couldn't properly express my gratitude. Clapped my hand down on Shion's head and ruffled her hair thoroughly. Like how I would to Reina and the others. When I did that, Shion, like Reina, would have spaced out and blushed slightly. Like Reina would have, spaced out. You don't have to think too hard about it. I should have just given it to you back then. If I did that, everybody would have had a good laugh. Shion didn't respond. She had turned bright red, like she was trying to hold back both laughter and tears. I'll go buy it for you right now. Wait right there. I'll go with you. Saying that, she grabbed onto my arm once again. She wasn't trying to be stoic anymore. I think I know why my sister likes you. Hey, is it alright if I start to like you a little bit too, Keiichi? Unfamiliar situation made my head start to spin. What am I doing? Reached my limit. Smiling wryly to hide my embarrassment, I dragged Shion into the store with me. Excuse me. I want to buy that doll and the dress that's in the window. After a moment, I heard a voice of acknowledgement and an apron-clad employee soon appeared. Keiichi? And why are you here? This has nothing to do with you. I'm on a date with Keiichi right now. What? Why is Keiichi? Even you ask why, I'd like to know the answer myself. Mion looked at me with an expression of confusion and surprise, but that was the same with me. She was there, then who was next to me? I said it right at the beginning. I'm Shion Sonozaki, my sister's younger twin. Keiichi, you even called me Shion, didn't you? Shion, saying that, pouted cutely. What is going on? Tell me, Shion. Not much. I was wondering what kind of person this Keiichi you were so infatuated with was, so I happened to give him a ticket to the dessert festa. There, when I was being bothered by all sorts of troublesome customers, Keiichi gallantly appeared and saved me by kicking them all to the curb or something like that. What? Both Mion and I raised our voices pathetically, expressing our confusion to the utmost. Mion, you phoned me yesterday, right? I didn't. I have no idea what you're talking about. I delivered that bento for you, didn't I, Keiichi? It was me, right? Or was it my sister? A person known as Mion Sonozaki put together a bento and bravely went to a boy's home to deliver it, maybe? Oh, you're a lot bolder than you look, sis. With a loud pop, a trail of smoke began to rise from Mion's head. I don't know. See, Keiichi? My sister says she doesn't know, so everything up until yesterday was me, Shion Sonozaki. You might have thought it was my sister pretending to be me, but with this, there's no doubt, right? Couldn't tell up from down at that moment. There was a mirror around, I could have seen my eyes go wide from the shock. Now, little Miss Shopkeeper, could you wrap up that doll in the window? It's the first present from the person I've come to love, so make sure you tie it up nicely with a ribbon. Mion, completely flustered, was being cornered by a sly-faced Shion. I've forgotten how to speak. My brain has stopped working. What? Huh? Keiichi? What is going on? Well, let's go. Keiichi, it's already dark out, so I'll see you home. Sis, sorry, but could you phone the house in Okonomiya and have them send out a car? Maybe a van that we can fit a bike into, please? Contrast to Shion, who had glee written all over her face. Mion was an empty shell and looked like she could burst into tears at any moment. Oh, Keiichi. After that, Mion's grumblings were unrelenting. We really fucked up. We really done goofed. Also, yeah, I was right. And my idea that Mion was hurt because she thinks we prefer Shion. Yeah, I was wrong in the detail, but right in the facts. Stop saying it's been a while. We've seen each other every day up until yesterday, haven't we? Whatever, if you say so, we'll go with that. Someone from Shion's house came to get me in a station wagon. Initially refused, but Shion insisted, and so both my bicycle and I ended up stuffed in the car. Said car was currently driving across a single bumpy road leading to Hinamizawa. For goodness sake, she was at Mion's level at least, or maybe even a better actor. No matter what questions I pressed her with, she'd slip out of them like an eel. Still, you two look so alike. If you tied your hair back like Mion does, would you look exactly like her? Who knows, it's probably what would happen. We're identical twins through and through. In the past we could just change our clothes and no one would be the wiser. Remember we'd swap places at every opportunity and fooled a whole load of people. Haha. Window's driver wearing a black suit heaved a heavy sigh like he was a butler. What's wrong, Kasai? It was a pretty deep sigh. Excuse me, I was just thinking that you haven't changed. I see many years of hardship on the man's face through the rearview mirror. Anyway, Keiichi, your house was around here, right? Kasai doesn't know much about Hinamizawa aside from the road that goes to the Samazaki main house. If you leave it to him, he'll take you all the way to Yagochi. I don't want that. Excuse me, could you stop at the narrow road at the next right? I'll walk from there. He stopped the car at the desired place. Driver, Kasai, got my back out the trunk for me. Sorry about that. Thank you very much for showing me home today. Was it Keiichi? Mr. K? Your other name, that is. Yes. You must be having various difficulties, but I believe she'll grow tired soon, so please endure things until then. Gave me a deep, deep look of sympathy. Guy has definitely been dealing with the Samazaki sisters ever since they were little kids. However, like Mion, she's a kind person at heart, so that means she'll be as much of a bother as Mion, right? Man's face froze in a smile, his reply lost. Hey, bag me up here. Hi, Keiichi. We'll see each other again. Say hi to my sister for me, too. Maybe I'll start going to Hinamizawa tomorrow? Don't you dare. If you transferred in, I'll transfer out to a school in Okonomiya. Wow, that was really mean, Keiichi. Short beep of the horn. Man gave a little wave to me from the driver's seat. Then the car withdrew into the dark night roads, leaving dust in its wake. Man, this entire day made no sense. Ran into Mion when I was with Shion, and the former's expression, like a pigeon shot with a pellet gun, had finally begun to make a strong impression on me. Man, that's Shion. Excellent manipulator. But folks, well, seeing as I feel like that's a nice little area to break in the story, we're about, I want to say, maybe 2/3 to half of the way through, and a pretty good story break. I am going to end things off here. I'm going to say thank you so much for watching. It is very, very, very much appreciated, and I do hope that you enjoyed. Thank you so much for the follow, Hakun. It is very much appreciated. If you liked what you saw from this, or even, well, so here's what I would say. The first half of all of these games is the, like, everything's goofy, everything's normal, there's, you know, a few hints of things, like, not being great, but in general, things are, you know, things are okay, and then the latter half is where it gets serious. It is, I really enjoyed Onigakashi, and I'm really enjoying Watanagashi so far, so I'd recommend sticking it out. But anyway, I will be streaming Dishonored this Saturday, where we will be kidnapping a doctor. As usual, I'll be doing the polls, running polls, to choose whether I go high chaos or low chaos, whether I try and be stealthy or don't bother, whether I try and be non-lethal, don't bother. Basically, choose how I play this game run. That'll be going on. Then on Sunday, it will be Destiny 2, where we'll be taking our first foray into Forsaken. I have a couple of strikes left to complete, but I might just save those until later, to be honest. But we will be taking our first footsteps into Forsaken, for which I am very excited. Then on Tuesday, it'll be Final Fantasy XIV, where it will be another reset day. We'll be hanging out, you know, it's my chill stream. Tuesdays are my really chill stream where we just hang out and have fun and just enjoy ourselves. 4.25 is coming out soon, I reckon, in a couple of weeks, so looking forward to that. And then, of course, next Thursday will be more Watanagashi, Higurashi When They Cry, Watanagashi, where it will actually be the festival that I referenced in the title to this stream, because in my head, we get to it way earlier. Anyway, take care everybody, have a wonderful evening, do take care of yourselves, and I shall see you guys on Saturday.